defense wants this jury to see these facts a little differently. The idea that this is just the rock star lifestyle, and you can't criminalize that because it's all part of this whole marketing machine, and the dream becomes real, so to speak.
Absolutely, and it would be great. That'd be a really good argument if the conduct that was alleged was actually legal. Okay, we're talking about young girls, we're talking about young individuals who can't consent to certain things. The prosecution went through showing you what the rooms look like, what the floor plan looked like, and how the organizational crime was committed. Okay, if we're saying that this is the rock star lifestyle, which it could be, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not the jury. It could be. If it is, all of these girls would be of age. It wouldn't fall under the Mann Act, and it would be very hard to prove racketeering. Not the case here. I don't know how the jury's going to rule on it. There's a lot of indicia of what's required to at least be prosecuted for a racketeering charge in this case.
Yeah, you make some fantastic points, because the idea that it was illegal, and so many of the acts were sort of directed to cover up the fact that some of his likes or kinky sex was illegal. And I thought some of the most important evidence really revolved around those letters that he made folks sign, where he wanted to make sure that he had something to use against them. And that to me really gave the sense of the machine that was working on his behalf. And I'll tell you, the other part that's hard to believe here is, he was a genius. He was constantly working, constantly in the studio, producing incredible music, but yet he had the time to figure out all of this and make it go in the direction he wanted to go. That's the part that I think may be a little difficult for the jury to believe.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? Me and you discussed this even in other cases. And R. Kelly has gotten away with a lot of celebrity justice, and it's his safe haven. Okay. We always go back to how beautiful his voice is, all the music, and all the #1 hits that he has. And he uses that as an opportunity to sweep under the rug any kind of alleged criminal conduct. And in this case, he's doing that once again. It's trademark R. Kelly defense. It's exactly what I would do if I was his defense attorney, which is to show that he's the safe haven and that he's not committing these criminal acts, and to say that it's all engulfed in one. But really, the prosecution is coming in and saying, I don't think so. Look at the level of sophistication of this organizational crime, starting from the get. It's almost like the guy was represented into some of these criminal acts.
Yeah, it's interesting that price of genius argument, it may hit the end of the line in this particular case. And even if it doesn't, he's got a ton of other cases to deal with. So I don't know what the future is for R. Kelly right now. All right, stand by. We're going to take a quick break right now. And again, we are in a verdict watch, not only in Kelly, but in Tennessee as well. Just ahead, we're going to look at the law the jury is considering as they decide whether Janet Hines is guilty of a crime in the death of a police officer. And then coming up later, former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has filed his own paperwork appealing his conviction in the murder of George Floyd. That's right. He's acting as his own attorney. We'll tell you all about that coming up next, so keep it right here on Court TV.
911, what's the emergency? There's a black male running down the street.
Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through a South Georgia neighborhood when he was followed by 2 pickup trucks with 3 men. He's just jogging.
This is not some hate crime. The Justice Department announced federal hate crime charges in the death of Ahmaud Arbery.
We live in a community where we think everything is okay.
What it do? What it do? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. What it do? Y'all give me a thumbs up and hit the like button if y'all can hear me. I had no idea. I didn't know everybody was live. I was like, because I saw damn people was live an hour, 2 hours ago, and whatever. I said, okay, ain't nobody live now, so I ain't checking. I just hit the button, and I saw everybody's goddamn live doing the watch. I'm like, well, damn. I try to give equal, as equal as I can get it, parts to the prosecution and the defense, because got to have both sides. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's always going to be heavily on the prosecution, no matter how you cover this stuff, because the prosecution is the one that brings the charge to, the to the court. So yeah, so I wanted to keep my eye on this because they've been updating, giving us a lot of information on court TV. But I also wanted to take a look at what the defense and give a little information about um, the defense team or the lead attorney, whatever that I found. I didn't even know anything about. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about his, the people he's represented on both sides of the aisle, and things of that nature. So let me go on here and say hello to y'all, and I'll go on get on off because I don't like to do weekends. So hey Karen J, what it do? What it do, my Karen J? Hey Cool BJ. Okay, we got 1/3 of the KKK in here, and then we got a J. So we got, let's see, 1/2 of a J in here. What it do, just be what it do, boss. Hey Peter. Hey Peter. Peter. Hey. DJ Amazing. You're so amazing, baby. Hey, I am Queen Newton. And changed her little pig. I got you, girl. I see you. I don't miss much. Hey, Valencia, my love. Jennifer. And everybody else that's looking in my window. So we're gonna look at we're gonna keep an eye on court TV just in case they say something. Let me see what they're gonna come back with. Hold on, what they talking about?
Part. They have a lot to consider. My understanding is
Okay. So yeah, so you do know, at last I think we did go over that. They did find the remains of that young lady Gabby, which is so sad. But the boyfriend, some he's off the grid somewhere, so he has a FBI warrant on him. So that means they bring him back dead or alive, right? You only get one stop. Ain't no stop, don't move. I'm warning you. Back up. Be slow about it. No, it's stop. Then after that, they shooting you down like a dog and dragging you from wherever you are. And I'm not making this up. I find that a little excessive, very inhumane. But hey, I don't make the rules. I just follow. What else is the nonsense? Oh, got to tune in to catch that goddamn DJ Tyson over there lying and making up shit as per usual. He's over there talking about if the people of the little kid that he hit with his vehicle wanted him to be locked up or whatever, they would have pressed charges. Honey, anytime you kill somebody, I think I said this, that's automatically the state gonna pick it up. They don't ask nobody, do you want to press charges for somebody murder, killing somebody, they don't ask those kind of questions. That's automatically, 99% of the time, it's automatically gonna be taken up. That's out of the parents of whoever hands. So, especially when you leave the scene, like, what the fuck is going on? And then he's over there talking about people putting hits on him. Ain't nobody put no hit on him. Just a whole bunch of sympathy, crazy talk and shit like that, trying to implicate people and stuff like that. A bunch of nonsense. So don't pay attention to that. He up there dry snitching and snitching before a crime has been committed and shit like that. Ain't nobody got no hit out on his ass. Shit. Maybe if you don't fuck with people, try to be remorseful, repent or whatever, apologize. Maybe you won't have to worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? But nobody got no hit on his ass. Just making up shit. Anything for the tube and the cash out. God dang. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, oh yeah. And then somebody in his chat he was up there telling me he gonna sue people or whatever for defamation. And I saw where somebody said, make sure you add Hollywood and Angie on the list. Well, if you make sure you already know my name, little stank ass nigga, from saying that you was looking for me and all that motherfucking bullshit. Miska made a song about it. Says here I go, so you know my name. Send in them addresses, and it ain't defamation if it's true. Stupid. So done yelling about that. That's all I got to say about that. But anyway, so while they go on and on about that, they were talking about court, and I was trying to get it up quick enough because they did an excellent explanation of if he's convicted of count one, and if he's not convicted on some of the man acts and the potential time and all that, whatever. And I mean, it was just all. See, the lady, when the judge gave her jury charges, which is also in jury instructions, they, it was 3 hours, they said. And that's accurate because you know how long the actual jury charges, jury instructions. I'm using those words interchangeable, but oh Lord, wait a minute, y'all. Sorry about that. Somebody called me, just made me mad. Okay, so while we have that on court TV, let me see if I could take that out now. I wanted to focus on that. They were saying that Kanik, I know this enraged a lot of people when they said that he tried to compare or reference Martin Luther King in his closing is in relationship to R. Kelly, right? And that got a lot of people's blood pressure up. And that didn't actually go that way, but let me show you what BNC reported. So let me take them down real quick. I'll show you what BNC reported. And this is why I like accurate reporting, because we like to get it right. But I'll show you what they said. Don't mind, just give me one quick moment.
R. Kelly's defense attorney, Deborah Kanik, told the jury.
And I want to show you these people, the reaction these people gave with regards to the Martin Luther King reference.
Or is my all-star team.
Hold on, y'all. So y'all probably already seen this. I just wanted to get this up because this is what we don't do. Okay, here we go. Bear with me. So
Joining me throughout the hour tonight to help break down today's events in court is my all-star team of legal experts. In Atlanta, trial lawyer and former National Bar Association President C.K. Hoffler. In San Francisco, veteran prosecutor BBC's legal contributor Paul Henderson. And in Orlando, criminal defense attorney and president of the National Trial Lawyers Association, Mark O'Meara. Thank you all for being here tonight. All right, let's start with the defense's closing and work backwards. Lots of interesting arguments were made by the defense's lead attorney, Deborah Canick. He said nothing R. Kelly did was out of the ordinary, that as an international superstar, he was a sex symbol, a playboy who enjoyed kinky sex between consenting adults, which isn't a crime. He asked the jury to set aside any judgments about the types of relationships Kelly had and understand that these women were not only consenting adults, but bought into the lifestyle. CK, you first. Can the defense simplify this case that easily?
Absolutely not. I quite frankly found that to be a ridiculous argument. For sure, R. Kelly is a superstar. For sure, there are a lot of consenting adults. There are a lot of people who probably the groupies that did partake in a lot of activities with R. Kelly. But to oversimplify 9 witnesses that speak of what I believe the jury believes it, really heinous activities acts of sexual oppression against men and women. To overly simplify that, when they actually heard live his voice and some of the things that he did to some of these victims, I think is a very risky move. And I don't think that you can oversimplify that case in that way. I think frankly it was a bad move for them to make in closing. That and also equating R. Kelly to Dr. Martin Luther King. That was actually jaw-dropping.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We're going to definitely get to that. No, I'm definitely going to get to that. Mark, the defense argued that the government was trying to, quote, criminalize legal activity like kinky sex or sex between people of different ages, but underage girls can't consent. Could the prosecution have objected to that statement as a mischaracterization of the law, or the judge intervened at that point?
So yes, the answer is if they misstate the law, then of course it is an objectionable argument. But remember, the jury is told it's just argument. It's the attorneys trying to give you their best perspective. Generally speaking, it's not a good idea to object during closing argument. You almost may give it more focus by doing so. But you know, remember with a case like this, as was just said, you know, we know as lawyers, argue the facts when you have them, argue the law when you have it, and just argue if you don't have either. And I think what the defense was doing was trying to get so close to the edge, stay away from criminality, but say, look, kinky sex, doing this, daddy is not, you know, abuse, and saying all of this is close. It's close to the edge, but it's not criminal, because they cannot deny all of the evidence that was presented by those witnesses. All they can say is, sure, that's close. Yes, it's close. Yes, it's kinky sex. No, there was nobody calling for the cops when they had their cell phone locked in some closet somewhere. Get so close to the edge where they can still say kinky behavior, but not criminal. So in that sense, having to accept the facts as they are now before the jury, you almost have to give the defense a little bit of credit of going, you have to acknowledge what you know the jury believes happened, but maybe it's not a crime. And I think that's where Canick was going with his arguments.
The defense then started to attack the credibility of Kelly's accusers, describing them as opportunists, liars, and obsessive fans. Paul, that's a common defense strategy, but the sheer number of accusers, 11 total, doesn't that make it hard for the jury to believe that all of them were being untruthful?
It does. And to Mark's point that he was just talking about, in terms of the mischaracterizing their testimony and their evidence, I feel like I try to give leeway in closing argument, but I would have objected. I would have interrupted, and I would have said that this crossed the line as the defense attorney characterized the behavior as not criminal. Now, that's just wrong. We're here in this courtroom because it is criminal. I would have objected, and I would have, if for no other reason, to stand up for those victims who deserve to be heard, for their voices that deserve to be believed, and for those jurors that were paying attention and believed, even if they just believed a few of them, if they believe any of them, I feel like that's the role of prosecutors to stand up for the victims and the witnesses that are testifying in a case like this. And remember, there are 11 witnesses, and of those 11 witnesses that testified as victims, not the witnesses, but the victims, 6 of them were underage at the time that they were involved with R. Kelly, which is the definition, as we've talked about before, of statutory rape. For that reason alone, I would have been more vociferous about objecting and making it clear to the jury that someone believes those men and women that were testifying. Someone believes that a crime has been committed, and I want you to believe that as well, and you're going to hear me be adamant and defensive about it when it gets mischaracterized on purpose as an adoptive admission from defense counsel in a case like this.
All right, CK, the defense invoked Dr. King and the civil rights movement in his closing, suggesting that the jury was facing a similar fight, asking them to be courageous and fair, and that by being so, that they would clear Kelly of all charges against him. Was this a stretch, and was this inappropriate?
I think it was a stretch, and I think it was terribly inappropriate, especially given where we are in this country now. I was actually disgusted by the mere comparison of R. Kelly in this case. Even if you assume he's innocent, the allegations in this case to compare him to Dr. King was a very, very bad move. And if they wanted to paint a path for the jury to walk down and convict him, they opened up the door and they laid that path right in front of the jury. That's how I saw it. Because if there were any people that were on the fence and really felt that some of the witnesses lacked credibility, by drawing that comparison with just the right jurors, you could have people or jurors that would really take a stand because they would be so offended by that comparison. I'm not sure why they took that move, why they took that risk, because that was a horrible risk in my impression.
I want to get all of your thoughts on that, Mark.
Wow. I looked at it, and at first I heard it before I actually read the transcript. And I said, well, maybe he made some offhand reference. And then I actually read what he said. And I remember, because I've had the honor and the pleasure of knowing Martin Luther King III and having served on a couple pounds with him and gotten to know him just a little bit. And I just remember thinking and texting him and going, I'm just sorry that someone, anyone, would drag in your dad's name into this case and suggested, and again, even if he's innocent, as RK just said, even if he's innocent, the idea of dragging those two polar opposites together, somebody charged with child sexual abuse and Martin Luther King Jr., I didn't, it was disgusting, and I don't know what he was trying to do. Who was he talking to when he wanted someone to think R. Kelly and MLK Jr. are sort of fighting the same fight right now? So where was he going with that besides, I don't know, maybe making a name for himself when the case is over?
A bad one at that. Paul, your thought?
Okay, so I felt very strongly. My immediate reaction when hearing it was, ma'am, please take several seats. If you are even raising the specter of Martin Luther King with R. Kelly, are you freaking kidding me? In this courtroom, while we're talking about the herpes and sexual behavior and statutory rape and kidnapping and aggressive behavior and misuse of celebrities, and you dare to bring up Martin Luther King? Sit down. But I think maybe that was part of the point, because I was so irritated by it and frustrated by it. I can't imagine that other people weren't as well, including viewers in America, even though it's not taped in video so we can watch the commentary live. I believe that had to be distraction and a red herring. And I think it's one of the things that in a case like this, this is where defense gets backed into a corner where they don't get to argue a lot of facts. They don't get to argue a lot of challenges to the incidents that took place. They're left to bolster their defense by arguing and throwing anything out there that could be a distraction to the jury. I believe this is one of those distractions. that gets an entire audience thinking about Martin Luther King as R. Kelly, what the heck does that mean? And if they're thinking about any other thing other than the actual facts and connecting it to the elements that the prosecution has to prove, then that's a win. But it was so ridiculous and offensive is the issue. It was offensive to an audience. I believe it was probably offensive to several of the jurors as well, that even if they weren't familiar or fans of R. Kelly, they certainly didn't equate his behavior to anything in the sphere of Martin Luther King. And so, you know, if anything, it was a distraction that may have served the defense a moment where they weren't thinking about the facts or the charges. But that's all it was. And it may have turned many of them, as it turned me, against the defense for daring to present it in that way. I was offended.
Yeah, I definitely think that it hurt their credibility. All right, we've got to take a quick break, but
Okay, let's talk about that a little bit. So, as you see, she started off saying that they invoked the name of Martin Luther King. Then in the caption below, it says the defense compared R. Kelly to Martin Luther King. Those are two different things, right? So now people are outraged, right? Okay, because now I don't know if any white people is in here. Okay, and I know Martin Luther King is loved by the whites and Hispanic, Asian, whatever. But the black people, we're getting your ass about Martin Luther King. Listen, you can talk about Don King, you can talk about Don Kane, but you better not talk about Martin Luther King. Don't talk about him, okay? We'll march the hell on up there to that damn to New York, to Candace's office. What the hell are you talking about? Like, oh no. So that was very unfair and very, very bad reporting right there. That really was. I don't know if they actually have a station or they just tucked away on YouTube as we are. But that was some bad reporting right there. You know what I'm saying? They done set it up. Listen, they done set it off. Like, hey, yes, the elements. Yep, it was the vid with the elements. Okay, wait a minute. What you talking about, Kayla? I just looked up at the screen. Okay. Is this the video where it talked about the elements? Oh, I'm not sure. I got it. I paused it because I just wanted, because it's 19 minutes long, and I paused it because they're coming back to break down what's the name? So yeah. So another thing that I heard that the prosecution spoke about argued intent, right? And I was on the phone with JoJo, and I was like, before they said that, before I heard that today, I was telling him, well, I don't know, could have been last night or whatever, and I was saying, look, I said the defense should have argued intent, right? Because the reason why I told y'all the three main parts of intent, right? Unintentional, general, and specific, right? Well, unintentional, so you have an out. You argue unintentional intent, right? Means it did happen, but I didn't mean it to happen. And then when you couple that with the testimony of what the defense is calling inconsistent testimony from some of the victim witnesses, then you add that mistake of fact, the age thing in there. Now you're taking intent that's required in the elements and a lot of these charges, you're taking that down a notch. Possibly you erasing it some, you know, in the minds of the jury, right? I don't know if I don't know if he argued that. I don't know. But hell, I don't know. But hopefully I could pull up something that covered his closing arguments. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been a good fact to argue, since intent is part of the law. So, but hey, what do we know? What do we know? Also, I stood my grounds on them visual depictions for Jane Doe number 2, 4, and 5. I don't want to hear shit about we gonna see him in Chicago. I asked for them videos. Where's the videos? Where's the tapes? Where's the tapes? We didn't get no child pornography. Okay? We didn't get that. We got some recording or audio or something of I don't know, were they 2 people that was even charged in the case? I'm not sure. But I stood my ground. I mean, I was, it could have been entered in as extrinsic evidence. It didn't come up there. They put in 1 or 2 videos. Wasn't child pornography. Wasn't 100 devices. Well, I mean, what it was. I stood my ground. So, yeah. So, it's very interesting. I'm not sure, but I don't know. But I'm going to try to see what else. Let me check on Court TV real quick, because I'm using that as a priority to see if they are talking. Okay, so let me cut BNC on again. And you know what? And shout out to Kayla for listening and recognizing the talk about the elements. I think this might be the video. I'm not sure. I can't remember if they talk about the elements in this, but we'll see. Hold on. Let me play it. And I appreciate y'all coming on through.
There's a chance the jury could have been deliberating by now. Instead, the prosecution closing arguments took 6 hours, which they wrapped this morning. Still with me, C.K. Hoffman, Paul Henderson, and Mark O'Meara. All right, let's get into the government side of the case, Mark. Let's talk about the prosecution's 6-hour long closing arguments. They revisited testimony given over 6 weeks related to the 14 underlying acts Kelly is accused of committing under the racketeering charge. Yes, the prosecution, they have the burden of proof, and this would be the last time they would address the jury. But was this information overload and a risk of losing the jury?
6 hours is an enormous amount of time for anyone to pay attention to anyone. The only ones who look at that is lawyers when they're listening to their own closing arguments. When you have somebody else out there 6 hours trying to listen, it's difficult. Now, you mentioned it's a 6-week trial, so if you look at it, they spent an hour per week, sort of. Doesn't seem like much, but I thought they did a good job. It was methodical. They had to go back over it, but these jurors lived it. They spent the last 6 weeks going through it. I think they would have done an even better job, a little bit more of the high points, a little bit more of the presumption. Look, this is what we have. And again, one thing that the government has in this case that was mentioned by Paul and is undeniable. Normally you have one case, one burglary case, one rape case, one sexual battery. You have one witness saying something. When you have 2, what we call simple fact evidence, is very dangerous. When you have 11, the presumption is guilt, no matter what else comes out in the trial, just because of that many witnesses against you. And I thought that the government might have just spent more time on that, on the obvious nature of the guilt here, and not spend 6 hours. I don't think that they lost them, but I do think that they bored them.
CK, your thoughts? Did the government go too long?
Oh, they went too long, without question. In closing arguments, it's your chance to summarize the evidence. You go to the salient points. What you want to tell the jury is why they need to vote in your favor. This long diatribe, 6 hours, I can't imagine any case requiring a 6-hour closing. This is a RICO case. So of course, they got to connect the dots in a different way, but not in a 6-hour way. What they could have done very effectively is summarize the evidence very quickly. There was so much salient, salacious evidence here. They could have just done that nicely, put it in a bow, and then told the jury, this is why you need to convict R. Kelly of RICO. Boom, 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 boom. This is why he's guilty of this. Blah, 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 blah. And this is why you should never let him walk out this courtroom and be a free man because of boom, 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 boom. And then sit down. You've made your point because, by the way, for 6 weeks you've been laying the evidence. They're compelling evidence not just from women, but from men. So they really lost an opportunity to tie it together and not confuse the jury. And then tell them, go through any of the jury instructions that they needed to. And then that's it. When you get into all this other stuff, you overly complicate the case. Whether you're the prosecutor in a criminal case or you're the plaintiff in a civil case, your job is to simplify it, to give the jury the reason why, and then to sit down. And the other side's job, the defense's job, is to poke holes in your case. So if you go 6 hours, they're going to be poking forever and ever, and then the jury's going to be confused, and then you've lost that opportunity. So I think they went too far.
All right, Paul, the veteran prosecutor, your thoughts?
It's very similar. I think 6 hours is a very long time to talk in front of a jury. And I don't think anybody is going to pay attention for that long. It's really difficult in a case like this. Although I will say, this closing, I expected to be a little bit longer than most, simply because they were racketeering charges. And for a lay audience that doesn't understand what racketeering may mean, or how it relates to the evidence, that's got to be something got to cover to connect the dots as an attorney for a lay audience to understand why the facts and the evidence that was presented is related to a conviction that you want from the jury. The other thing that you really have to focus on in a case like this that makes it a little different is that this is a celebrity, and this is someone that people have a familiarity with and almost grant or may grant permission to act differently from what everyone else's standards may be, that they are engaged differently. And so making clear that this went so far beyond the pale, that this was actually not bad behavior, but illegal behavior is what the prosecution had to do. I don't think that would have taken 6 hours. And just like we were talking about, there were so many salacious nuggets. There were so many consistent facts, so many similar narratives about inappropriate behavior, illegal behavior, videotaping, herpes, underage men, underage women. I mean, putting all of that in a bow, I think could have been done in less than 6 hours. And the concern for me is, if this were one of my lawyers making a presentation like that, what did you talk about for 6 hours? I need to see and know ahead of time before I sign off on a 6 hour closing. What are you talking about? Take this out, take that out, move this to the front. Stay focused and weave a narrative theme along for a jury to take that with them into a jury room, and that shouldn't take 6 hours.
Mark, some have wondered how one person can make up a criminal enterprise, but the prosecution utilized a large blackboard with Kelly in the center, surrounded by a network of associates. The prosecution says enabled Kelly to carry out crimes for 3 decades. The government doesn't have to prove that the enterprise or the actors acted with criminal intent, only that Kelly had the criminal intent. Do you think they've done that?
Again, I really think that they did. I give credit, it's one of those things that you complain too much with a 6 hour closing. It's like you had me until you kept trying to convince me. So I think that was a risk, as Paul was saying. But yes, I thought they did a good job of following the law and making sure a jury who has no idea about RICO, they have no idea about conspiracies, they have no idea about principal behavior and how other people can help you but not be charged with the same offense. But I did think they did a good job of saying, look, this is the guy, it's United States versus this guy. And these other people out there who may have their day in court at some future time, they are not charged because we're just showing you what he did and what these other people allowed him to do. And that's the RICO. That's the organization, if you will. It's the one person that's before you. He's the one on the other side of the V from us. He's the one we have to prove the case against. And we did. And yeah, I do think they did a pretty good job of a relatively complex area of law to try and say to somebody, racketeer, influence, corrupt organization, that guy over there. But I thought they did a good job of it.
All right, stay with us. We've got more with my panel as we continue our coverage of R. Kelly's sex trafficking and racketeering trial.
Okay, folks. So apparently that's
hey,
not.
I'm Allison Marsh. You're watching NBC News now. Here's what's happening.
To be clear,
joining me throughout the hour tonight to help break.
I'm still waiting on Court TV to give a update. Hold on, let me see. I don't, Karen, I'm trying to look for that video. Not Karen, Kayla. I'm trying to look for the video that you say spoke about the elements. Apparently, that's not it. So, but shout out to you for remembering that, yeah, about them elements. So let me see what this is about. Hold on, let me see if we can get some of the closing in this video. Let me see if we can get some of the closing in this video. Court TV is still talking about something else. Oh yeah, what happened to Karen? Hey.
Attorney Deborah O'Connor told the jury, you and you alone are the judges of the facts. You've been called, he said, to discern the guilt or non-guilt of Robert Sylvester Kelly. Candidates said the government let their witnesses lie on the stand and purposely mislead the jury. He blamed prosecutors for massaging and tweaking the truth to fit their narrative. Candidates says R. Kelly told women he had multiple girlfriends, and that Kelly is an older man who prefers younger women. Also adding, Kelly likes women and kinky sex. And he says it's not a crime. He said Kelly's record label marketed him as a sex symbol and playboy. So Kelly started living that lifestyle, comparing Kelly to Hugh Hefner. He told the jury Kelly likes to be called daddy as a term of endearment, not a form of worship. He said Kelly treated his women like gold, buying them handbags that cost more than cars. He said there was no abuse and no rape. The women lied. The accusers, he claimed, want paydays and book deals. Kennick said, like many other superstars, Kelly settled some cases against him, but he never admitted to any wrongdoing. And Kennick called out some accusers by name, like Geronda Pace. He called Pace a super hustler and stalker, saying she sued Kelly 3 times, but still wanted to be in a relationship with him. And Sonia, a 21-year-old woman who testified, she was kept locked inside a room for days with their cell phone. Yet Cannick said she never called the police for help. And on the question of R. Kelly giving women herpes, Cannick told the jury all the women he was in long-term relationships with never contracted herpes. Only the women involved in lawsuits claimed they were infected with the incurable disease.
Whoa. Okay. So, once again, we were right. They did concede that R. Kelly is, in the guys. Yeah, so we were right. The defense conceded to that.
Kelly's defense attorney, Deborah O'Connor, told the jury,
we just cut this goddamn shit. We need to be on some type of, we all do, on some type of, working, what the shit called? I can't think of the shit now. Anyway, somebody need to draw us a paycheck. We were right. They conceded. that he liked both men. Okay. That's all I gotta say about that. Oh, now, man, let me see if we can find something else. Ooh, I like it when we write, honey. I like it when we write. Okay, we got enough. Hey, didn't I hear somebody say that they were
officially on verdict?
That they were caught up on was aren't they the jury was caught up on two wait a minute on Sonya and Jane Doe number 5? Did I hear that? Somebody help me out. Did I hear that they were caught up on why I try to bring this up on Sonya and Jane Doe number 5? I do remember somebody saying number 5. And now keep in mind, because I don't want nobody to pass out if this verdict comes in. It ain't what y'all expect, because or most of y'all expect, because if they think about it, if they caught up on Jane Doe number 5, okay, that means there's some deliberation is going on with Jane Doe number 5. Keep in mind, Jane Doe number 5 has a lot of the charges on there. They hung up on that. Game changer. Sonya and 5, okay. Now it makes sense. It makes sense. Okay? Makes sense. Okay. Just saying. Be on alert. If you got asthma, make sure your pump is a goddamn near. If you need drugs, make sure you have your expired weed and your expired crack on deck. If you drink a little libation, make sure you have your little moonshine on the side. Because they deliberating on Sonya and 5. Remember, 5 is most of the goddamn charges. That's all I'm saying. And my error rate is pretty high. Hey, no, I'm sorry. No, it's low. I'm sorry. My error rate is low. It's real low. It's real low. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm popping my car back here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to tell you, watch out for 2 and 5. That's all I'm saying. They asking for transcripts and shit for 2 and 5. And they asking for shit to be and to go over the testimony and all this here already by 2 and 5. So that means pretty much that they done found him guilty on the other ones. 2 and 5 they having a problem with. That's what I'm saying. That's my educated guess. And hey, my error rate's been kind of low. That's all I'm saying. What it do, Dom King? What it do? Ain't no sleep to the verdict, baby. What it do? I just want to let y'all know. Make sure you get your asthma pump and shit. Get the machine that you need. If you're on a CPAP, get that shit ready. And they pretty much done decided on. Hold on, let me see what order they went in. Did 5 go? Did 5 come? 5 went before 2, right? No, 4 and 5 went early. But maybe they haven't gotten 2. No, they took a poll when they got in that jury room and say, okay, what y'all got already? Boo, 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 boo. Okay, so they probably decided on them other ones. 2 and 5 is Sonya and 5 is a problem. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Don't get me out my bed. Karen J, don't send me shit. Wait a minute. I'm just joking, Karen.
Watch jury deliberation started just after 1:30 this afternoon. R. Kelly will soon face his fate. 54-year-old Robert Kelly spent decades in the spotlight. Born and raised in Chicago, the R&B superstar has long been considered a musical genius. Under his stage name, R. Kelly, he rose to fame shortly after hitting his big break. A deal
Wait a
with
minute.
records in
Hold on.
1991.
Hold on. Somebody wanted my attention. Regina Thomas, with your sensitive motherfucking ass. I've been saying that there's nothing wrong with homosexuality. I didn't say that. I said they conceded that he pretty much like men. He said it. They said it. I ain't writing shit up. I ain't on this motherfucking trial. It ain't my motherfucking testimony. I don't give a fuck who we get down with. This is something that we went over. That I said because they didn't, because since you don't know a motherfucking thing, why don't you stick around and motherfucker play some of these lives back and shit before you jump your ass out the motherfucking bushes and come in with some bullshit. I said a bunch of lives ago because the defense did not challenge the men about R. Kelly sleeping with them. That pretty much meant he conceded that R. Kelly's into men. Sensitive ass bitch. Get your ass out of here. Get your motherfucking retarded crazy ass out of here. Tell you about your motherfucking ass. Don't come here and talk about I'm saying something about some homosexuality. Never did. Pay a motherfucking attention. This is a progressive motherfucking platform over here. We ain't slow to the motherfucking beat. That's the fucking problem with most of you motherfucking goddamn crazy ass motherfucking fans. You're not listening to what the fuck is going on. Your head in the motherfucking cloud or in your motherfucking ass. We don't deal in that motherfucking bullshit, bitch. We deal with the facts. If it ain't factual, we don't fuck with it. Get your motherfucking ass out of here. God damn it. Got me fucked up. Come here with that bullshit. Don't come in this motherfucker hurling no motherfucking accusations at me, bitch. The fuck is wrong with you? Get your ass out of here. Bitch.
Album born in the 90s, a year later, while still in his 20s. His hit song, I Believe I Can Fly, on the soundtrack for the film Space Jam was released in 1991. It is certainly one of his more wholesome contributions to pop culture. Kelly, widely known for sexually explicit lyrics and performances, while simultaneously under scrutiny for allegations of abuse and alleged inappropriate relationships with young women, including many alleged minors. Music sensation Aaliyah killed in a plane crash at 22 years old. Her rise to fame started years before that as R. Kelly's protege, and it reportedly didn't stop there. Kelly allegedly married Aaliyah in 1994 when she was 15, and he was 27. A year later, the marriage was reportedly annulled. Kelly is the lead songwriter and producer on her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Kelly got married again 2 years later to a dancer who would become the mother of his 3 children. Andrea Kelly has done multiple interviews since her divorce from Robert Kelly in 2009. Kelly was still married when his legal troubles started. There's a history of several sex lawsuits dating back to the 90s settled out of court, leading to a high-profile child pornography case. He was found not guilty in 2008. In 2017, a report accused R. Kelly of trapping women in a sex cult and controlling their lives. The music superstar denied the allegations. In 2018, outrage on social media, #MuteRKelly gained traction. Then, in 2019, the explosive documentary series Surviving R. Kelly was released. In it, many women who called themselves his victims, and accounts from journalists, music artists, past employees, and family members. The focus, R. Kelly's alleged abuse of power and his alleged sex with many underage girls. Right after, also in 2019, Kelly was dropped from his record label. New sex charges surfaced in Chicago. Then came 2 federal indictments, one in Illinois and the other in New York, followed by prostitution charges in Minnesota. In 2020, season 2 of Surviving R. Kelly released. By then, Kelly was behind bars without bond. Fast forward to this recent high-profile trial in Brooklyn, New York, the United States of America against Robert Sylvester Kelly. After a delay due to COVID, it began last month. August 2021. Through it all, Kelly has managed to maintain a strong fan base. His supporters showing up to the Brooklyn-based courthouse where prosecutors have worked to prove he should do serious time. Kelly pleaded not guilty to racketeering and sex trafficking charges in court behind his mask, a range of emotions clear, as his defense worked hard to clear him of the kinds of sexually related accusations that have tainted his stardom for years.
Kelly has never acknowledged breaking the law when it comes to girls or women in general, or sex for that matter. His defense maintaining that position throughout the trial, the prosecution, though, focusing on the voices of dozens of victims alleging abuse, manipulation, and more.
Stephanie, we know Kelly himself was a victim of sexual abuse.
He talked about it publicly, dating back years. Kelly said he was abused as a child several times, and of course, whether or not that weighs.
Hold on, y'all. Let me go to Court TV real quick, because you know how they do, honey. We got to get to Court TV. Hold on. God damn, bitch. Fucking with her, I missed my goddamn shit. What's wrong with? It's what's wrong with you is the question, stupid ass. I missed my goddamn feed.
The rock or folk the opera world is you got 40 men trying to make time. Either, with the backstage hands or with co-stars or wannabe starlets or, either the lighting or the mic guy. Who the hell knows? But that's just an aspect of it. And by the way, it's in every industry. It's not limited to, the performing arts. I wish they would have brought somebody in to explain that away. Additionally, think about all the thousands of people that R. Kelly has come across during the course of his career. To suggest that these isolated incidents are the product of a racket is kind of offensive. At most, what it shows is an outgrowth of the industry and perhaps maybe a character flaw in his part and some stale time-barred state claims for any sex crimes that he made. But to call them violations of the Mann Act, to call him a racketeer, I just think it's a leap of faith.
Yeah, you make some incredible points because, we have to be even-handed here. And at the end of the day, I agree 100%. I mean, what the defense did do, Philip, is they brought in a couple of folks who worked with him, and they tried to make some points about, he worked in the studio, he worked there incessantly. Sometimes they'd have to wait a day, 2 days before they could actually meet with him. Basically, they were on his schedule of those types of things, and they brought in a lot of information about these women that were involved, and a lot of them lied about their age, and that he would always ask about their age, and made it seem like somewhat these were isolated incidents. And I have to agree with you, because I often think in my mind, what's bothering me about this case? And it's exactly what you said, the fact that there is a culture in entertainment that often breeds this kind of thing. And they made this argument in closing, and that all he did was live that lifestyle, and then he created something around him to protect him from some of the things that can happen as a result of that lifestyle. So it's a chicken and horse argument, and cart and horse argument, and I wonder if that is how this jury might view it.
I certainly hope so. I hope they're giving it a lot of thought. And hopefully the few witnesses that they did put on really highlighted and emphasized for the jury just how many people R. Kelly entertained, how many people he advanced, how many people he gave opportunities to, and of course, how many people he rebuffed. Listen, there are a lot of wannabes out there who have no talent. They can't sing, they can't dance, they might be pretty, but at the end of the day, they bring nothing to the table. And sometimes when you come to the land of broken dreams, such as Hollywood, sometimes the darlings, if you will, the wannabe, want to have the last word. And here we are now, where R. Kelly is facing life in prison for this. Now, it's not to say that at the time he brought some of those sex charges, that he wouldn't be doing hard time for those, but that's not before us right now. If they were, I see a jury convicted.
Yeah, what's interesting, and you make another good point. One of the things that the defense emphasized was the fact that a lot of the people who were living with him, a lot of the women who were living with him, were actually living better than they would have lived had they not lived with him. They made the choice to stay with him for that reason, and even had the blessing in a number of cases of the parents in these situations. So when you look at it that way, again, that gives this jury something to hold on to if they want to say, okay, there were some things going on here, at least for one or two Jane Does whose statute of limitations has not passed in terms of what he did, and he should absolutely be convicted of those. But again, the issue that we're talking about, and I believe you're talking about, is this idea that there was this criminal organization.
Yeah, I mean, it's felt like this was, like a money laundering scheme where you've got like a laundromat signing out front, and behind the scenes you've got, bookmaking going on, illegal gambling operations. They're trying to make it look like the R. Kelly music brand was really just a front, if you will, for transporting girls across state lines to pimp them out for prostitution. It's actually kind of offensive, even though some of these girls fell prey to it.
Yeah, no question about it. All right, some interesting points there, interesting insights. Truly appreciate that, Philip. As always, you're going to stand by and stick with us. Coming up next, as an arrest warrant is issued for the boyfriend of deceased YouTube blogger Gabby Petito, we've been digging on the last known encounter between the couple and the law enforcement. Was the domestic violence call on them handled properly?
Okay, so let me take that back down. And this is something I just thought about. And a lot of times you will go back and think about stuff that you could have argued. They also could have argued, when I think there was a suggestion or idea that R. Kelly set up this enterprise for the purposes of doing criminal acts, right? With regards to, females and underage girls and sex, whatever. The defense also could have argued that, depending on whenever he established his first LLC, his first company, or what have you, because or when he went into business himself, that there weren't any criminal acts that started at that point or what have you. So the idea that he set up this enterprise in an effort to just carry out criminal behavior doesn't make sense. That's another argument, but I just thought about it. So just thinking. Let me go back to finish out this video.
Into what's allegedly happened, that's up for debate. However, it is something he has acknowledged, as have others connected to him.
And Stephanie, can you just elaborate a little more on the details that came out in court about how the abuse allegedly continued and persisted?
So clearly right now we are waiting to find out whether R. Kelly will be behind bars for years ahead. So that's what we are looking at. However, in court we learned there were people, according to the prosecution, who allegedly participated in all of this. People who worked for R. Kelly, his entourage. The allegations are that they helped orchestrate this kind of thing. While the defense has said, look, this was R. Kelly's lifestyle. These are women who decided to participate in this lifestyle, and he did nothing wrong.
Wow, we will be closely monitoring the situation, and as soon as the verdict is down, stay with the BNC, but on air and online for any up-to-date information.
All right, let's see. Now that's sad. Let me see. Is anybody? Okay, so I am done with that. Let me pop Court TV back up on the screen because we have to look at them. I don't do no weekend, so so let me go over. Let me read while we waiting. We like to get it in quick and get out. So while we wait for Courts TV to tell us more. I want to read um, Attorney Deborah O'Connell's resume. I found it to be pretty impressive, but I just wanted to read it to make sure you guys can see that, it's pretty good. So let me read it. And I'm not going to put it on the screen because we have Court TV on the screen. So it says Deborah O'Connell, experienced New York attorney. Deborah O'Connell is a principal member of the firm and a trial attorney. His practice includes federal and state criminal defense, criminal law, as well as civil litigation. Mr. Canick is licensed to practice in all courts in the state of New York. He is admitted to the federal district courts for the Eastern, Southern, Northern, and Western District of New York, United States Courts of Appeals for the Second and Fourth Circuits, and the United States Supreme Court. Mr. Canick was formerly with the Bronx County District Attorney Office, where for several years he managed a full range of criminal matters from misdemeanors to major felonies. Mr. Canick had departmental responsibility for managing a group of assistant district attorneys assigned to homicide duty and was lead counsel on a number of high-profile criminal cases, one of which led him to being profiled in the New York Legal Journal. And lock him up as an assistant ADA. So, all right. In 1990, while working the Homicide Trial Bureau of the Bronx County Attorney Office, Mr. Canick was selected as the lead prosecutor in one of the most publicized cases in the Bronx, People of the State of New York versus Larry Davis. And if you ever get a chance to look at that whole Larry Davis story, if I'm not mistaken, I don't do Google references and online references and information. I don't like that. But I think there is a story about Larry Davis. It is a fascinating story. And I don't know how I did not realize that Mr. Canick was the lead prosecutor in that particular day. Or maybe I didn't remember because it's been so long ago since we looked at that. And so, that was in the 90s when I was in school. So let's go. It says Mr. Davis was charged with multiple homicides and had been involved in the attempted murder of numerous police officers. After Larry Davis was acquitted in his earlier trials, the district attorney of Bronx County, Robert Johnson, turned to one of his premier trial assistants, Deborah Canick, to prosecute Larry Davis. After a trial of several months, Larry Davis was convicted on all counts. And if you don't know the story, he later got killed in prison. Okay, prominent attorneys throughout the city of New York credited Mr. Canick and his savvy trial skills as providing the difference in the results between the earlier trials. Mr. Canick was subsequently featured on the first page of the New York Law Journal dated March 18, 1991, and widely credited with the resulting conviction. Mr. Canick has an extensive criminal law practice. He appears daily in the federal and state courts. He has been involved in many high-profile cases throughout his career. Some of his clients have included Lamar Sanchez, the first person to be charged under the New York State capital punishment law with capital murder. Okay. Daniel Barrios of the famous Latin Kings gang, and Dr. Rafael Dafar, a Rome oncologist charged for violating IEEPA laws. In one particular case, Mr. Canick represented an individual by the name of Michael Mungeon. Mr. Mungeon was charged as a hitman for drug dealer. The indictment alleged that he executed 8 individuals. After his mitigation presentation to the United States Attorney for Southern District of New York and subsequently to the Attorney General Janet Reno, the Justice Department decided not to seek the death penalty against Mr. Mungin. Okay, so when I was talking about mitigation, right, that's the part where after you're convicted, they try to offer mitigating factors as to why you shouldn't be on death, get the death sentence or something like that. So that's what that means. Let me see, where was I? It was Mr. Canick's skill and determination that convinced the Justice Department not to pursue the death penalty in Mr. Mungin's case. Mr. Canick has developed a masterful courtroom demeanor. He is a dynamic cross examiner and has an uncanny ability to connect with jurors. As a result of his expert trial skills, he has been retained to represent clients in many states throughout the country. Also, Mr. Canning has been retained by other law firms to assist them in trials and complex litigation. Let me check on Court TV real quick. Okay. In the past few years, Mr. Canning expanded his litigation practice to include civil rights and 1983 constitutional claims. In one of his first civil rights trials, a 1983 civil rights action against the city of New York involving a claim of police brutality, Mr. Canning successfully litigated the case and secured a $3.2 million jury award for his client, the largest verdict awarded for the type of injury involved. The case was reported on television and in the newspapers. Mr. Canick was later selected to represent Sekou Diallo, the father of Amadou Diallo, who was shot 41 times by 4 police officers on February the 4th, 1999. This case polarized the entire city of New York. Bruce Springsteen wrote a song in memory of Amadou Diallo. Although the 4 police officers were ultimately acquitted of all criminal charges, Mr. Canning successfully sued the city of New York and received the largest wrongful death settlement award against the city of New York for that type of case. He also had the distinction of working with the legendary Johnny Cochran, who represented Amadou Diallo's mother. Mr. Canning has represented a number of celebrities in both his criminal and civil practice. Mr. Canning's education law background includes experience as general counsel to the Mount Vernon School Public School District, where he provided day-to-day advice and counsel to the district in all areas of education law, including contract drafting and negotiations, labor negotiations, and the development and the implementation of compliance programs. In addition to his role as general counsel, Mr. Canning directly handled litigation matters for the district. He also negotiated their employment contracts, collective bargaining agreements, as well as litigated employee disciplinary matters. In addition, he handled special education, impartial hearings, and related litigations. Let me check on Court TV. Okay. Where was I? All right. Mr. Canning travels across the country to keep abreast of the latest developments in the law and has been invited to lecture at many seminars. Okay, because the laws are ever changing. You when you think you got you pretty much got the basis for the law as you remember it, but you got to go back and see about the updates. You always have to keep current on that. Says he too has been qualified as an expert criminal trial attorney and one of the few selected to represent defendants charged with capital murder in the state and federal courts. He has appeared as a regular guest commentator on Court TV and Fox 5 News, as well as been interviewed for television and radio for some of his many high-profile cases. Okay. All right. So I'm coming back around there on the front where y'all are. So So. Okay, and I'm trying to look in this chat and see what is going on. So, I mean, he has a very impressive, yeah, right, Red Hot Beats Inc. Right. Also, you know what else? I don't know if y'all have time for it, but do y'all want to see what Steve Greenberg said? Do y'all want to see that? I want y'all. I don't know if y'all say yes or no. I'm gonna try to. Let me see if I can get it on real quick. This was a trip. I just like, oh boy. I don't know about this. Let me see if I can see what Steve Greenberg said. Child. Here we go. Check out over what Green and Green said.
Over a month of testimony and
Hold on. Let me get old Green and Green. So, oh Lord, wait a minute. What was that called TV? Hold on.
So keep your back to your own.
Y'all, let me look at this commercial real quick with Court TV to make sure that I don't cut to something I already
New
pre-recorded.
developments in the case of Doomsday Cult on Lori Vallow and her husband Chad Daybell tell us where
Hold
the
on, let
kids
me get
are.
this on
About
here.
all the people that had to die.
Sorry about all the switching, honey. I'm trying to get it all in.
Search for missing children. Investigators
Recovered human remains.
Chad
Well,
Daybell's
yeah, but I have
residence.
Green.
This is the
I have
search for
Mr.
killers.
Greenberg.
This is just so beyond what anyone could imagine.
So I just want to see what comes
Doomsday
on
couple,
after Court
Chad
TV's
and
break.
Lori Daybell on trial.
This is hot man.
Ahmaud Arbery was jogging when he was followed by three men.
He's trapped. He was just jogging.
He was my baby.
How many of us live in a community where we think everything is okay?
You know, this is the evil part of it all.
An all-new true crime series.
It was justifiable homicide.
It's when the hammer and I hit her.
And I just fired the gun. This is the whole truth. Can keep my life straight.
Wow, I mean, they deliberating on Jane Doe number 5. That's a game changer.
Judgment with Ashley Banfield. All new episodes Sunday nights at 8, 7 Central on Court TV.
I'm just trying to see what they come back with after the break.
Setting up Simply Safe Home Security was a piece of cake.
No tools or wire. Anyone can do it in less than 30 minutes.
Okay, so
And voice prompts guide you.
I don't know if y'all can hear
Simply
this.
Safe even calls you when you're done to confirm
Things
everything's
working
working
correct. All set, thanks.
So
easy. I realized I could tackle any project.
I'll tell you, let me get through this.
This is Court TV.
What a day it has been as we continue our gavel to gavel coverage.
Is there reasonable doubt? We'll find out.
Welcome back to Court TV Live.
Your front row seat to justice.
Lori Vallow Daybell and her husband Chad. It went from a story about two missing children to remains that were found. It's the Doomsday couple on trial.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said they are sequestering the jury for the weekend, right?
Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through a South Georgia neighborhood when he was followed by two pickup trucks with three men.
He's trapped. He's just jogging.
He was my baby.
This is not some hate crime. The Justice Department announced federal hate crime charges in the death of Ahmaud Arbery.
How many of us live in a community where we think everything is okay?
Pickup trucks with three men.
Oh
He's
my
trapped.
gosh,
just
come
jogging.
on,
He was
y'all.
my baby.
This is not some hate crime.
The Justice Department
I'm
announced
like,
federal hate
I'm
crime
gonna talk
charges
about
in the
what's
death
up,
of
if you
Ahmaud
wanna.
Arbery.
I'm
How
gonna
many
talk
of
about
us live in a
that.
community where we think
Comes up
everything is
after.
okay?
Okay, so check this out right here. Now, I don't know, I don't remember what the testimony was, and I don't know about the closing arguments as far as the defense. But think about this. Jane Doe number 5.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Michael Ayala. Again, we are in a verdict watch in Tennessee versus Janet Hines.
Okay.
Now, the clock on your screen shows that the jury has been deliberating for more than 11 hours now. And they are working hard. They have a lot to consider. My understanding is that they worked through lunch today, and they are currently working.
All right, so I'm going to take him down. I'm going to put Greenberg up real quick. But think about this, y'all. Think about this. Think about the fact that if Jane Doe number 5 already said that, the parents wanted some deals or whatever, she said that on direct, right? Then you add in the letters talking about some deals or whatever, which is supposed to be false, made under the direction of R. Kelly allegedly, right? That can bring in some doubt. That can kind of, in some people's mind, lead some legitimacy to the other letters. That maybe some stuff did happen. You couple that with he in his closing, he said that they were living better with R. Kelly than they were without him. You got some people didn't want to go or didn't go. Some people wanted to return after being gone. In somebody's mind, a pretty good attorney, with strategy as a specification, could make that work. But let me play this.
Over a month of testimony and 50 witnesses called to the stand. Now, the trial involving the United States versus Robert Kelly is winding down. I'm joined by former R. Kelly attorney Stephen Greenberg. Welcome to BNC Live, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. When can we expect a verdict?
R. Kelly in the case, the federal case here in Illinois, as well as the Illinois state cases. So former's a little premature, as they say. I don't know when we're going to get a verdict in this case. The defense is going to argue this afternoon. The prosecution, I suspect, will argue tomorrow and probably take another 2 or 3 hours. They've already gone on for 6 hours. And then the question is whether the judge is going to want to give the case to the jury on a Friday afternoon, and whether the defense is going to jump up and down to prevent that from happening. I would never want a case like this to go out to a jury on a Friday afternoon.
Why?
And it's also unclear if she's going to sequester the jurors.
Why is that? Why would you not want the case to No, I'm sorry. Why would you not want the case to go to the jury on a Friday?
Well, you never want a case, whether you think you're winning or you're losing. You never want a case to go to the jury where they're sort of going to feel that pressure to get out for the weekend. Now, if the judge is going to sequester the jurors, it's less of a concern because then she'll bring them in to deliberate on Saturday. But if she's not going to do that, you don't want them to start talking about the case, and I don't expect that they're going to reach a verdict very quickly. So you don't want them to start talking about the case and then go home and individually sleep on it for the weekend. That's just dangerous.
How unique is this trial, Attorney Greenberg?
I think it's a complete abuse of the RICO statute. So in that regard, it's unique. You know what the prosecutors told the jurors in closing argument, and I think this is legally incorrect, was that as long as R. Kelly had people around them, because an enterprise can be formal or informal. It doesn't have to be an actual business structure. So as long as he had these people around him, and there were others, that anything he did individually can satisfy the RICO predicate acts. Basically, what the prosecutors are arguing to this jury is that anybody that has friends, anybody that has family, anybody that associates with other people and commits a crime is violating RICO. And I just think that's totally improper.
All right, Attorney Greenberg, you are a long-standing attorney with R. Kelly prior to asking a judge to be removed from the case. Why?
Well, I don't want to get into what led up to that or problems we had within the defense. I will say that I think some of it has been borne out during the trial where things weren't done and witnesses weren't lined up and so forth. Let's see what happens here, and then we'll address those things if need be.
So how do you think R. Kelly's defense was?
Well, again, I don't want to comment on it at this point. I haven't read all the transcripts. I'm sure that Mr. Canick did his best, as I have said. I think that going into it with Nicole and Tom, he was going into it with two hands tied behind his back. This is a case that required 3, 4, 5 dedicated, hardworking, knowledgeable, and talented attorneys, and he got 1 or 2.
Yeah, there were reports that the attorneys that he was left with were inexperienced.
Well, they were, but again, I don't. Let's see what happens. If he wins the case, then everything he did was right. If he loses the case, then I suspect that he'll get counsel and he'll revisit some of the things that have gone on.
Will you represent him in the other cases that he still has pending in the other states?
I do represent him in the other cases.
Can you tell us about that?
And we'll continue to do so, sure.
So what's next? Once this case is wrapped up, he still has 2 other cases that are pending court cases, correct?
Well, he's got a few different scenarios. Let's say that he is found guilty. Obviously, found guilty, remains in New York pending sentencing. He's looking at a lot of time. If he were to get 20 years
or something like that, who knows if the prosecutors in any of the other jurisdictions would want to go ahead with the case. If he's acquitted in New York, then I suspect the next case will be the federal case in Chicago. We're prepared to fight that case, and we're going to litigate that case. We're going to do it
properly and professionally. He's also got 4 pending cases here in the state of Illinois. All of those cases, I was confident we were going to secure not guilty verdicts for him on those cases. I'm still convinced of that, but again, they're sort of last in time, and so they're going to wait and see what happens on the 2 federal cases. The other thing playing into this, and I know it gets a little complicated, is there's a lot of overlap between all of this. So there are double jeopardy concerns all around.
How much time is he looking at, Attorney Greenberg?
Well, in the case in New York, it sort of depends on what the jury finds. The jury needs to find under a U.S. Supreme Court case called Apprendi versus New Jersey certain things to change the sentencing parameters. Basically, RICO's got a maximum of 20 years unless the underlying crime carries more, and then you could get up to life. We'll see what the jury does. The charges here in Illinois, again, very similar, depending on what the jury were to find. They could have a maximum of 10 years, or otherwise they could have a maximum stretching into the decades.
Yeah, he's facing 22 federal charges.
Right, but that quantity doesn't mean anything. I get a murder case and somebody is charged with the same murder 7 different ways. It's still one murder. It's the same thing here. He's charged with one crime. If he's found guilty on every count in the New York case, they're all encompassed by the first count. So we shouldn't get caught up in the number of different counts that he's facing. The cases are problematic because the law of averages, obviously, it's difficult. Most people don't win their federal cases. We have a winning record in federal court, but that's unusual. And I'm not trying to sound cocky, it's just unusual. So, the law of averages of beating one federal case is very difficult. The law of averages of beating two federal cases is exponentially more difficult. And then add in the other state cases, and your Vegas odds get very small.
All right, Attorney Greenberg, thank you so much. We really appreciate you carving out time for us this afternoon to be here.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, Greenberg. Yeah. Okay. I mean, he corrects you quick, honey. He said, he's still, because she said former attorney went, and his mic wasn't in. When we came on, he was like, he said, no, he still represent this Illinois case federally and state. He said, so former is a bit presumptuous, right? So I'm like you gonna say that going in with Nicole and Tom was like having your hands tied behind your back? Is you crazy? Is you crazy? Hell, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to wait. I got the circle. So while we waiting on that circle, I'm gonna try to see if I can read some of this. I guess I can go come right here. Try to wait this goddamn circle to stop circulating. Now, I do know it's called buffering, but I like to call it the circle. Shit. I thought that was so weird. Like,
Crossing the middle line, but these are all things that
I thought that was so weird because I was like, dude, you still on the case. Like, what the hell? Well, Greenberg don't care. He don't care about shit he say. Am I up there? Greenberg don't give a damn about nothing he say, honey. He really don't. So that was crazy, right? When I tell you, like, how do you think that you're gonna come back together and work on a case? Like, what's going on? Why would you say any of that? Why? Why would you say any of that? It don't make no damn sense. So let me see if I can read, see if I can get this closing argument. Yes, sir, DJ Amazing. What's happening?
Oh, this is good here.
What you mean?
All this what you talking about is good. I didn't cook me some ain't too fade, and I'm sitting back watching the show because it's about to be one.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And hello
So
to
I'm gonna sit
everybody.
back. I just wanted to hang out with you live and watch it. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna sit back and watch it live.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for the company. Let's see.
I just wanted the VIP seat next to you.
Oh, okay. I ain't gonna be on here too long because you got people that's doing. I don't do weekends. I do nights, but I don't do weekends. What it do? Weekends are taken. What it do, Larry's Minion? What it do? So I'm gonna leave that up. Then I'm gonna try to get to read this closing argument. So y'all, DJ Amazing, while you up here, if you see they say anything about R. Kelly or whatever, let me pull it up. Let me scroll it up a little bit. They say anything about R. Kelly on there, holler so I can know, so I can stop reading, okay? Because I'm not gonna be on the screen.
Okay,
You
I
heard me?
got you. I'll
All
be
right,
your
thank you.
eyes and your ears.
All right, thank you, DJ Amazing. All right, it says jury deliberations begin in R. Kelly's sex crime trial. Moments after R. Kelly's legal team started its closing arguments on Thursday, it became clear that the R&B singer's last chance to proclaim his innocence would be as weird as the first opportunity. Indeed, lead Kelly attorney Deborah Canick invoked Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mike Pence, and Hugh Hefner in arguing that his client is not guilty. What transpired is this. Canick started his closing by saying, "This is a great country and that our Constitution is most sacred." This is pretty normal fare for defense lawyers. The Sixth Amendment says that people charged with crimes have the right to a fair trial. But things quickly took a turn. Canick said that in the 1960s, someone who was derived at Rabel Rouser and I'm sorry, Lord, I look, Lord Jesus, wait a minute, hold on. I put them glasses. Oh, a communist, along with like-minded allies, decided that the Constitution wasn't being fair to them. So they took on to the street. They revolted, Canick said. Multiple "oh-no's" could be heard in the room when it was became clear where Canick was going. Hold on now. So they took to the street. They revolted. Canick said multiple "oh no's" could be heard in the room when it became clear where Canick was going. And it was the process. Some were killed, some were maimed. And Dr. King, as you know, he was murdered. Canick then quoted King's "I've been to the mountaintop" speech. This is so crazy. I was talking to somebody and I was saying, "I've been to the mountaintop and thine eyes have seen," but I was talking about something else. Um, Canick then quoted King's "I've been to the mountaintop" speech, essentially arguing that the late civil rights leader and Kelly are both fighting for their constitutional rights. Okay. I said earlier, talking about constitutional rights was good. And that's all Robert is trying to do, he said. Canick also described Kelly's behavior as in keeping with the international superstar he had become after rising up from being a mere street musician. His label marketed him as a sex symbol, a playboy. So he started living that lifestyle, Canick said. Where's the crime in that? Hugh Hefner, that was his life, not a crime, not a crime. Canick also described Kelly's affinity for younger females as normal. He prefers, in some instances, the May to October relationship, older men, somewhat younger women. Some people just like it that way, Canick said. Some people also just like kinky sex. Canick also argued against the prosecution's claim that Kelly's alleged requirement that his girlfriends call him daddy was evidence of manipulation and abuse. Daddy, it's almost a crime to call a man daddy, Canick said. I guess people can't do that anymore. The former Vice President Pence called his wife mother, he said. Okay. Oh, that's Dottie in the background. Hey, Dr. Hey, Dr. Earlier in the day, somewhere between the fourth and fifth hour of the prosecutor's closing argument, the R&B singer seemed like he had enough. As prosecutor Elizabeth Geddes broke down every instance of his alleged sexual abuse and argued that they reflected an organized criminal enterprise, not just serial offenses, Kelly repeatedly shook his head. At some point, he dropped his head into his clasped hands. Oh. He even scribbled notes. While not uncommon gestures for someone on trial, they were a marked departure from Kelly's behavior throughout the course of his sex crimes trial, aside from the one day when he grooved to his music. Geddes began her closing statement on Wednesday afternoon. It ended just before 12:30 Thursday. Honey, if he'd have grooved to that music, I'd have been right there and said, "Look, y'all, my client is crazy. So look here, he ain't guilty because he's crazy. Look at this. He's on trial and he's grooved to his music. He's done lost. Yeah, he's not temporary insane. He's been insane all the while for a long time. Yeah, that's what I would say. You got to use anything. Shit. Okay, it says Gaddis began her closing statement on Wednesday afternoon. It ended just before 12:30 Thursday. She argued that Kelly used his lies, manipulation, threats, and physical abuse to dominate his victims, and that he used his money and public persona to hide his crimes in plain sight. Gaddis' lengthy closing statement needed to sum up 6 weeks of testimony and evidence and demonstrate how that evidence proved that Kelly's alleged predatory behavior constituted part of an organized criminal enterprise. Prosecutors have maintained that Kelly and his close associates have a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise. They promoted his music and band while luring teen girls, teenage boys, young women, and young men into a sick world of illicit sexual encounters, prosecutors allege. So right there, she is pretty much because if I'm mistaken now, most of the acts have to do with the man act. Right there, she is pretty much summing up the immoral opponent of the component of the man act. All right. Kelly is charged with 1 count of racketeering and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act for allegedly transporting a teenage girl and a woman across state lines for the illegal sexual activity. Kelly has maintained his innocence. In total, 11 accusers took the stand against Kelly during his trial. 6 of these 11 were minors at the time of the alleged sexual abuse. 2 were male. Kelly himself did not testify. The indictment against Kelly lists 6 female victims, one being the late singer Aaliyah, whom Kelly allegedly illegally married in 1994 when she was 15 and he was 27. 3 other accusers in this indictment were minors at the time of Kelly's alleged sexual abuse. In addition to Aaliyah, the charges against R. Kelly involved accusers Stephanie, Sonia, Geronda Pace, Jane, and Faith. The girl name is Geronda, not Jahonda, not none of that. It's Geronda. Geronda. Accusers who testified but weren't part of the charges were intended to show Kelly's alleged pattern of abuse. The defendant was more than just a part of his enterprise. He was the leader, Geddes said, later observing that for many years, what happened in the defendant's world stayed in the defendant's world, but no longer. Geddes said that Kelly wouldn't have been able to commit these crimes without his close network of associates who did everything from drive women and girls to him to pass out his phone number at concerts. Some actively assisted, Geddes said, of Kelly's inner circle. Others turned a blind eye. Okay, let me get somebody just popped in. All right, make sure y'all watching. Let me see. Hold on. Let
Right
me.
now, it's just buffering. It's not fixed. It's buffering.
Okay, let me. What's the name? It. Hold on. All right. Where was that? Okay. All right. It says she described the situation. Okay. She described the situation as a Robert Kelly centric universe where his inner circle revolved around him. Geddes wrapped up her closing on Thursday afternoon with a call to action for jurors. It is time to hold the defendant responsible for the pain he inflicted on each of his victims. Aaliyah, Stephanie, Sonia, Geronda, Jane, and Faith, Geddes said. Now remember when I said, like, during the opening, I would have had something where, for, just for shock value, I've been like, okay, one victim, maybe, okay. 2 victim, okay. Even 3. That's 1 per 10 years, right? But 4, 5, 6, 7. So she did that for a dramatic closing, right? So that's why she named those names. Aaliyah, Stephanie, Sonia, Geronda, Jane, and Faith. Getty said, "It is now time for the defendant, Robert Kelly, to pay for his crimes," she said. "Convict him." Oh, that's what she said. It says jury deliberations officially began on Friday afternoon. Ooh, okay. And I am coming back around on the front. And we got Mr. Untouchable, Mr. Due Process, Mr. Debowski, aka C Gun, aka Two Fingers in the Air, showing what time it is, aka travel the world and round and back, marching up and down, getting civil rights feet. Yes, none other than what?
Mr. Due Process himself.
What to do, boss?
The myth, the legend.
You know, I don't know why V-Rock and anybody else think I should have to prove myself after 2.5 years of proving that, you know, I believed in what I believed in. Now it's up to the juries to make that decision.
Right.
You know?
And hey, this is crazy, right? And I find it so, well, I mean, shit, it's gonna be interesting. Because if they hung up on Sonya and Jane Doe number 5.
But, you know, just for them to even carry on and not bring back a verdict the same day is, you know, a good sign. You know, they didn't come back with a verdict right away on OJ or George Zimmerman, and both individuals walked it.
Right, but you got like this is Rico, so it's gonna be a little complicated.
But now you got a lot of people now in the news who wasn't saying it before that's blatantly saying the Rico is a far reach. It really is.
Yeah, it
It's a
was,
far
but
reach.
it was the only way that they could get all that stuff, that old stuff in. That was the only way.
Yeah, so that means that you're doing a trial off public opinion, and then you go 6.5 hours on closing. That's a Guinness Book World Record.
Yeah, they could. Well, you know what? Maybe that was the only way they could tie all this stuff together. But
That means you was giving the jurors a small college course because you didn't believe it other than legally.
right, it's crazy though. It's crazy. I just tend to.
If they would have charged this man with, you know, sexual exploitation of a minor, or you know, have some videotapes and presented some videotapes, or went off, you know, the bribery thing wasn't even that deep because dude didn't even know about it. So it's like, I don't really see what you got to stand on.
Wait a moment. He back. Hold on. Is this it? Yeah, he back.
He's hopeful, prayerful that the jury understood the arguments and the way the case unfolded.
On the docket tonight in Kenosha, Wisconsin, one of the most divisive cases in the nation. Kyle Rittenhouse charged with shooting 3 men and killing 2 during the riots. We have a preview of the upcoming trial on Court TV.
Curdling scream, yelling, Mr. Rosenbaum. Go ahead. My client, as he's jumping towards him, fires the 4 shots, which take less than 1 second, hitting Mr. Rosenbaum.
In Monroe, Louisiana, state troopers on camera beating a motorist. We take a look at the newly uncovered video with our law enforcement experts. In Harlem, New York, a suspect sneaks up behind a 76-year-old. We take a look at the shocking video during crime time. Plus, the man convicted of murdering George Floyd has filed a formal notice of appeal. Our 13th juror question: did Derek Chauvin get a fair trial? Go to our Facebook pages and tell us what you think. I'm Vinny Fontaine. Great to have you with us tonight here on Closing Arguments. We've got a lot to get to on this Friday night. And we're going to begin with the manhunt. Coast to coast, everyone on social media and elsewhere looking for this man, Brian Laundrie. There he is. That's what he looks like, or at least what he looked like on August 12th. His appearance may have changed. He could have a full beard. Maybe let some of the hair grow back on that bald head. I mean, I see a little bit of stubble there on the back.
Oh, he's
So
so
it looks something like this. The search continues in the Carlton Reserve area down in Florida. We've got a shot of all of what's taking place down there day after day as they search through the muck, the swamp of that area looking for Brian Laundrie. And of course, we know why. Gabby Petito is dead. There's an arrest warrant out for Brian tonight. So let's get the latest on what's happening down in Florida. Joining us in Venice, Florida, reporter with our great affiliate, WFTN, Julie Salamone, back with us. Julie, great to see you again. What is the latest in the search, and has the intensity of the search changed at all?
Dude,
police wrapping up here for this evening. They say they will be back out again
weekend
searching the same area, the Carlton Reserve. It's 25,000 acres
Why are
of
they
land out
searching?
here, and it can be difficult at times when they search. Sometimes there's alligators and snakes, but law enforcement really pointed out today that this is not a waste of time. They have intelligence that Brian Laundrie may be in this park, and that is why they're searching. They also pointed out there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing, including maybe getting some search warrants for some data or social media. But again, they are going to search this park. They feel that they have a due diligence and obligation to really comb through the area here.
Now, do we know if they're doing any types of searches from the air, whether it's during the daytime or perhaps at night?
Let me come right now where y'all are. So, I mean, that's crazy. You know, that's how they do down here, baby. They kill you and they take off.
Hey, V-Rock. Hey, V-Rock say Bolingbrook bum. Lady, look up how much it costs to live in Bolingbrook. Bolingbrook, the fucking third greatest city to live in the world.
I don't know what is wrong with you.
V-Rock he love my alpha male. Damn.
Okay. The jury will be back in on Monday. Right. Okay, Star. I can't grab it from here.
Yeah, verdict be in on Monday. They need to be out there protesting instead of
Boski, what you think the verdict gonna come back with?
I think the verdict gonna come back not guilty, man. You know, RICO, where ain't nobody dead, ain't no drugs been sold,
Hold on. Star, the jury has gone home.
Yeah, they'll be back Monday.
I thought somebody said they were sequestered over the weekend.
Yeah, man, the motherfucker gone home, man. They'll be back Monday. They've been going home all week.
Yeah, but all it takes is one of them to get with somebody, one of R. Kelly people, and say he's not guilty.
Bill Cosby had a hung jury the first time. Riley Gorovich had a hung jury the first time. Man, if they asking for transcripts and flow plans, man, the government ain't got no flow plans from 20 years ago.
Hey, can somebody... Okay. Does somebody know? Let me see. I'm gonna try to get it out of.
Is it confirmed that the jury's gone home?
Hold on.
Yeah, they'll be back Monday.
Hey, I'm gonna try to get it. Can somebody find out if they were sequestered this weekend or if they went home?
Man,
they can tell me something different. They can tell me something different.
Man, you just heard Stephen Greenberg, like, man, you really don't want these people to go. Stephen Greenberg said you really don't want these people to go home for the weekend and sleep on this. They went home. They told not to watch the social media and all that other stuff. That's a sequester. The judge instructions.
No, that's partially sequestered. Sequester means you don't go
That's
home.
what they was from the start. Partially sequestered jurors from the start. It wasn't a full sequester, so they wouldn't be in no hotels.
Yeah, but somebody told me that they were sequestered for the weekend. Specifically said that. I'm gonna try to get the link.
They at home bumping R. Kelly.
It would be smart for them to keep the jurors all together in that hotel for the weekend.
Man, they at the crib bumping R. Kelly, man.
I don't know about bumping R. Kelly, but they probably ready to go home. They probably
Them
more than likely
motherfuckers
ready to
at the
go home.
crib. I know this. If the state's attorney talked for 8 hours a day for 30+ days, and then closed on 6.5 hours. That was begging.
Let me see what it is.
Man,
Okay,
that shit
I
was
just
so
want. I'm
pathetic.
pulling it up.
After 3 days of sitting in the courtroom, I ain't even see the point of going back up there. I'm like, this shit boring. The phone traces and who texts who and the cell phone pinging and looking at Sonya and looking at Kylie Calhoun read they little goofball letters. Man, I swear
Yeah, but his side, I ain't gonna lie. Like I
that
said,
shit look
I ain't
better
said
on
I'm for R.
Survivor.
Kelly or against R. Kelly, but
Hey,
his
look, that
his
shit look
lawyer didn't
better.
even do a good closing argument in my
Hey, look,
eyes.
that shit looked it better on Surviving R. Kelly than it do in the actual courtroom.
I'm
Don't
talking
even.
about R. Kelly closing argument lawyer. You know, they didn't even last that long. He stood there for 30 minutes.
He went for 2 hours, damn near. They went for 3.5. He went for 2. They started off with another hour, finished off the next day with 2 more. Then they gave it to the jury. He went for 2. He went for an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. That's the same way they say he compared R. Kelly to Martin Luther King. He ain't compare R. Kelly to Martin Luther King.
Right. All right. Let me read this article that Star just dropped. It says, y'all let me know if they come back online talking about R. Kelly, because I pulled the title up. It says jurors on Friday began their deliberations in R. Kelly's federal trial in Brooklyn, where he faces racketeering and sex trafficking charges. The jury deliberated about 4 hours in the afternoon before the case was adjourned until Monday. Before leaving for the day, they sent a note saying, "We, the jurors, have not reached a verdict." Earlier, the jury had asked for evidence related to witness Sonya, requested a floor plan of the Chicago recording studio Kelly used in the early 2000s. Okay, they having problems with her story, and that witness Jane allegedly wrote to her brother at the direction of Kelly.
That's Israel.
I said, hold on. Didn't I say that they could have tied like some of that stuff in them letters with what she said that on direct about what she caught to about her parents and the deals and whatever else, and try to do something when what he said got her to say, or talk about the letters on cross. I mean, yeah, on cross and all that, just to try to give an illusion that it could be possible that you know the
Man,
parents
them
were
jurors
more
at
involved
there
in,
now watching my
and
YouTube
it had
channel.
deals and shit.
Them jurors
Okay,
that
good.
went home, they
Okay,
watching
said,
my YouTube channel.
well, hold on. Kelly's attorney Deborah Canick said they were not concerned about the evidence the jury requested, saying that they just asked for evidence. Canick also said he spoke with Kelly several minutes prior and that he's confident in the way the evidence came out. Look at the glasses I was looking at. The 7 men and 5 women making up the jury have sat through 23 days of trial, which began on August 18th, included 50 witnesses overall. They began deliberating on Friday afternoon. In the closing arguments, Assistant U.S. Attorney Elizabeth Gaddis told jurors that Kelly was the head of an enterprise that promoted his music and his brand, but also served to recruit people for Kelly to target, groom, exploit girls, boys, and women. Let me see. I think this is a repeat. Okay, kidnapper. He is also charged with 8 additional counts of violation of the Mann Act. And this is really allow the witnesses to lie. Okay. In the defense closing arguments, Kang said the government misled jurors and allowed witnesses to lie, saying many of the witnesses accusing Kelly of sexual and physical abuse were in consensual relationships with the singer and now testifying against him to cash in on his fame. A lot of what people watch Surviving R. Kelly, and unfortunately, a lot of people are now surviving off R. Kelly. Can it say, wait a minute, okay, wait a minute, wait a minute now. He said a lot of people watch Surviving R. Kelly, and unfortunately, a lot of people are now surviving off R. Kelly. Can it say, okay? Prosecutors outlined their case, witness testimony, and evidence over the course of more than 6 hours during their closing arguments. It is now time for the defendant, Robert Kelly, to pay for his crimes. Convict him, Geddes said. The case comes 13 years after Kelly, whose full name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, was acquitted of child pornography charges at an Illinois state trial. And it says he still faces more charges of child pornography. Well, so yeah, that's where the tapes will be.
Hey, Miss Walker.
Yeah.
Do you recall people? Do you recall people saying that I wouldn't be able to go into the courtroom? What about you, DJ Amazing?
Yeah, I do remember you saying something. I'm not sure what you said, but I know you said something about it.
I'm saying, do you ever recall seeing people in the chat saying I can't go to the courthouse? I'm scared to go. I bet not go.
Well,
Did you not see me at the
I
courthouse?
ain't gonna say his name, but on the other channel it said that you couldn't even go back to the courtroom.
Did you not see me back there?
You was there, fellas. I know.
Yeah, I did a protest. I was on Court TV. I mean, what more do these people want?
Well, they want your man to walk free. That's what they want. They want the king of R&B. Or should I say the Pied Piper?
So when he do walk out and he done face all the rumors that he done had throughout his whole career put against him for Rico, and he walks, can this man finally live in peace? Or will we continue to say he walked because of this, he walked because of that, he walked?
Well, no, I won't say that, but I'm gonna say this: he got 2 more other pending charges, pending state charges.
And what if they dismiss those? What if they just say we're not going to pursue it at this time?
Man, when the system wants you, they want you.
They ain't gonna do that.
Now he may get a bond. I go that far. He may get a bond and get those court cases pushed back.
If he get a bond, he won, man. That's why they tried to put the man in jail to begin with.
If he beat this, he'll get a bond, and they probably Greenberg probably get those cases pushed back so he can comb through.
And that way, he can
all
drop
that
his
case.
If he get the bond, could he drop his music?
That's his best bet because he gonna need the money.
Revenue up. A Not Guilty Part 2 with Jay-Z.
I doubt it. He don't want no part of that.
Or maybe he could do a song with the baby.
R. Kelly ain't got enough money to pay the baby to be on the future with him. You know that man ain't got that type of money right now.
I'm hearing all these people saying R. Kelly gay, R. Kelly gay. If R. Kelly was to come out and say, hey, you know what, I am gay, he can get that LGBT community behind him.
Boy, wouldn't that be some shit? Lil Nas X do a song with him.
Yeah, Lil Nas X and what that dude name? Elton John. Elton John on the chorus, Lil Nas X. That shit'll go triple platinum. Ain't like the people in the chat buying music.
Yeah, everything is downloaded now. Everything downloaded nowadays.
Shit,
your
the gay
phone.
community is the one that's predicting everything and what's coming out and what's dropping and what's gonna be filmed.
I'm pulling up that indictment real quick because I want to look at something real quick.
I wonder what's gonna be the ruling on these last 2 motions that the defense put in the government counted.
I think they done took care of that.
Oh yeah, with the whole, I've seen the government respond, but did the judge make a decision?
Yeah, she was saying it in court. That's why I'd be needing them updates, some live updates, because she might just, her ruling might just come on through PACER. It could come on through PACER after the verdict. Hell, if she take
Mm.
care of it in court, you know what I'm saying?
But if they testimony is impeached, then she got to remove. She got to tell the jury to remove that shit.
Now, the boss, let me ask you this question: if they come back guilty, what you gonna feel at that point? If it come back guilty, what's the next step?
The next step is to sit down and wait like Bill Cosby did. You'll be home. Bill Cosby home. That people thought it was over with.
R. Kelly been one locked up, what, 2.5 years,
Yeah,
almost 3.
Bill was locked up the same amount of time.
Yeah, but Bill Cosby got out on a technicality.
Shit,
I don't know if R. Kelly
see
gonna
all
get out
kind
on the
of
same
technicalities.
technicality.
I see all kind of technicalities in this situation. And the fact of the system of counsel, you just hired this man a month before you went to trial. I see another reason for appeal with the motions that was filed, where they said they shouldn't be able to mention these tapes or videos because there are no tapes or videos, and come to find out it wasn't none. The denial of bond.
Hey, I got something in PACER. Wait a minute. Let me read it. This just came in. It came in on 22nd. Hold on. This must be what was under seal. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Now, y'all look at Court TV for me. Let me know if they get back on. Let me know if it's free so I could hurry up and hit the buffer. Refresh it. All right. This is from the government. It says, "Dear Judge Donnelly, the government writes in brief response to the defendant's letter providing transcript citations for the statements he asked to admit as prior inconsistent statements. As the government advised the court and counsel earlier today, the government does not oppose the introduction of certain prior inconsistent statements, including some of the ones included in the defendant's letter. In fact, of the statements set forth in the defendant's letter, the government opposes the introduction of only 4 such statements. The reason for the government's objections are described below. In addition, the government seeks to admit certain statements as prior consistent statements, as has provided the defendants with copies of its proposals." Okay, discussion. Prior inconsistent statements. The Second Circuit has held that extrinsic evidence of prior inconsistent statement. And remember when I told y'all extrinsic evidence is evidence that enters in after the witness have left the stand. Intrinsic means that they are on the stand and the evidence meets them on the stand. It's introduced while they're on the stand. Okay, let me reread that. It says the Second Circuit has held that extrinsic evidence of a prior inconsistent statement may be introduced for the purpose of impeaching a witness' credibility only if 1, the statement is inconsistent with the witness' trial testimony, 2, the witness is afforded an opportunity to deny or explain the same, and 3, the opportunity party is afforded the opportunity to cross-examine the witness thereon, and it gives a case law, and has recognized that the determination of whether statements are in fact inconsistent in committed to the sound direction of the district court, and that statements need not be diametrically opposed to be inconsistent. Case law. All right, let's see. The defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane, so that's Jane Doe number 5, that Jane denies telling government that Kelly masturbated while she was singing when she met him. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, the defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane that Jane denies telling government that Kelly masturbated while she was singing when she met him at Dolphin Hotel, and cites the transcript at page 1151 for the purported inconsistent statement. And just to let you know, the attorneys get transcripts as well as
They talk
the.
about R. Kelly.
Okay, talking about R. Kelly. Okay. Hold on. Okay, thank you.
Drew, there are no. What did you hear from them today?
We did hear from this jury, and it didn't take too long into their deliberations. Around 2 hours of deliberating, they gave the court a list of things they wanted. I should point out, they did not have the exhibits back in the deliberation room with them, so it seemed that they were really wanting to be able to put their hands on things. But here are the things that they wanted specifically. They wanted the floor plan of Kelly's Chicago track studio. They also wanted some of the stipulations of testimony that had to do with some people who were related to Jane Doe number 3. So things that the prosecutors read into the record, but not people who actually came into the courtroom. They also wanted a letter that Jane Doe number 5 wrote to her brother that was also talked about in court. And they want the full transcript of Sonia, Jane Doe number 3's testimony. So that's a little different than the exhibits because that's an actual transcript that was created by the court reporter of Jane Doe number 3 on the stand. So the majority of these things that they want in the deliberation room with them have to do with Sonia, Jane Doe number 3. Her allegations date back to 2003 when she was a radio station intern. She testified that she went to this studio on North Larrabee Street to interview the defendant about his musical career, and that she was taken to a room inside that studio. We don't have a floor plan, but we have a picture of the outside of that studio that was also shown to this jury. While inside, she said she was kept in a dark room for several days, locked.
That ain't me.
The Chinese food and drank the Coke and passed out, believed she was drugged and then sexually assaulted. She said when she woke up, she felt that she had been in a sexual act and she saw Kelly at the corner of that room pulling up his pants. It was really hard to listen to type of testimony, and now these jurors want the floor plan that she described that was also separately described by one of Kelly's employees. Now this jury is also asking about Jane Doe number 5's testimony in the fact that they are asking about the letter that she read on the record, one that she says she didn't actually send to her brother. But here's a snippet that we got from it being read in court, where she's talking about Kelly, and she's saying in this letter that he's a real person. He's fun. He was nothing but respectful to us. Mom, meaning her mother, nagged me to sleep with take pictures and video of us to use as blackmail. In this letter, prosecution alleges that she was forced to write it by Kelly.
Oh, shit.
During their closing arguments, that this was a letter that showed what her lifestyle was like and that she was someone who purposefully.
This ain't looking good. This ain't looking good.
Wait a minute, DJ. Wait a minute. I can't hear.
Some kind of dirt on the singer while she was with him.
Okay, how long did this jury deliberate, and what's the schedule going forward here?
They deliberated for 3 hours today, and at 5:30, which is the normal time for this trial, to wrap up, they sent a letter to the judge from the foreperson that said, regarding the verdict, and everyone in the courtroom stopped, almost their breath thinking, is this going to be something about the verdict? They said, regarding the verdict, we don't have a verdict. We haven't reached one. We'd like to go home. So they'll be coming back on Monday, 9:30, to start up that deliberations again.
I'll tell you, this jury might have a little bit of a sense of humor, the way they delivered that note and the way they wrote. Fascinating. If I was ever a jury foreperson, I would mess around with the prosecution and defense with a bunch of random notes. That's just me. But I've never been on a jury. All right, Julie Janae, great information. Rest up. Next week, big week, as the jury continues their deliberation. Let's bring back in our think tank tonight. All right, Brian Watkins, I'll start with you. Your reaction to what we heard from the jury today in that note.
You know, I don't know why the jury is taking so long to render a verdict in this case. You got to be clear on what R. Kelly is being charged with. He's not being charged with statutory rape. Everyone says, oh, he's having sex with young girls or underage girls. He's not being charged with statutory rape. He's not being charged with forceful rape. He's being charged with racketeering, which says that the only reason he has a music career, not because he likes music, the only reason he makes albums and tours is to entice women to have sex with him. That is what a criminal organization is, and it has to be the sole purpose. And he's also charged with violations of the Mann Act. The Mann Act was a group of legislation from 1911 or 10 that was used to prosecute black men for dating white women. One of the famous people who was prosecuted for that was Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion in the world, for having a white girlfriend and driving her across state lines that he was convicted of. And now they resurrected the Mann Act and are charging R. Kelly with it. So I know people think, yes, he's been with underage women, he may have even drugged them and raped them, but he's not being charged with any of those crimes. He's not being charged with rape of an intoxicated person. He's being charged with racketeering, running a criminal organization. The basis for his music career and his touring was to entice women to have sex with him. And that is an easy question for a jury to answer. There's no evidence that that is the sole reason that he does music. You know, he didn't indict Hugh Hefner to say that the sole reason he ran the Playboy Mansion was to entice women to have sex with him. So I really think this is a witch hunt.
You know what? But I think that was the reason you have set that whole thing up. Bernarda Villalona, your thoughts about the note sent out by the jury?
So it was a note that I expected. I just didn't expect it so quick. I'm glad actually that it's been weren't sent back to the jury as soon as they started deliberating, because that note gave us some insight as to what they're focused on now at the beginning of the deliberations, and that being Sonia's testimony, Jane Doe number 3, as well as that letter about Jane Doe number 5. Specifically about that letter, what insight it gives us is that the jury has some pause about the credibility about Jane Doe number 5 as to, did this really happen? You did send a letter that, well, not send a letter, but wrote a letter that he treats you with the utmost respect, that there's nothing going on here. And it goes to the theme that the defense has that look. These ladies here, you heard of the show Surviving R. Kelly, but instead what you have here is surviving off of R. Kelly. And that this case is full of lies, full of greed, people that want to make money off of R. Kelly, but that none of this is true. There was some consensual relations. You may think that it's not normal, it may not be your cup of tea, maybe too kinky for you, but guess what? That's just how R. Kelly got down, and that's how these ladies wanted to get down with him. So, I'd like to know, just for us, for our curiosity, to give us something to think about over the weekend, but you can tell that this jury is looking at both the prosecution case as well as the cross-examination by defense counsel and their closing arguments.
All right, Ian, I'm up against the break here, but who should be more hopeful on this Friday night after this note and where we are in the case?
Who should be more hopeful? Prosecutor Kelly should be hoping, like no tomorrow, that he's acquitted. He should be the most hopeful out of all. And so what you're asking, who feels better about it? Probably the government. Why? Because the most difficult case in the criminal justice system is a case involving underage children involving sex. I would say the two worst words that you can combine in the criminal justice system: sex and minors. It makes everything else really tough to deal with.
All right, still ahead.
So let me come on around the front. Now, who was in here when I said, hold on, I ain't talking no shit, but I'm just going to talk a little bit of shit. I don't get a chance to do that. Okay, listen, who was when I said, he should have said that organization, that enterprise was not set up for the purposes of doing no criminal shit. And I say that. We gets it right over here. Don't matter what side, we gets it right. The man just said it. That shit just came on hell. It's a coincidence that we get it right. God damn it. And they are struggling.
I'm nervous, though. I'm nervous, Angie.
DJ Mez, I'm about to take you down if you interrupt me one more time. That's all I hear is you in my head. I am saying, yeah, you should be nervous. I am saying, if they struggling, look at the letter that they're struggling with. They are struggling. Mm. Woo! I love it when we get it right. Get it right. We have an intuition. We ask the right questions and we probe and get this shit together. I can't stand lingering and shit like that. I ain't got time to wait on and figure out what they said and all this bullshit. I need to know now. God damn, because this is happening now in real time. It's about to be some shit. Now, so now you know I got to move those percentages, right? Those percentages, we plan on Michael Jackson it back. We plan on walk it back. Slide it. It was up to 113. Let me tell you where I'm taking it at now. They messing with that part. Jane Doe number 5 is all through that indictment. Sonya, I ain't worried about her. That sound crazy. They looking at that floor plan to see why she couldn't escape and probably asking a whole bunch of questions. Your mama don't lead you wrong over here. I was at 113. And due to them goddamn jurors. The jurors. I'm going to have to take it back on to about a 101. Somebody put 101 in the chat. So we can know where we at. 101. Lord have mercy. The man that came on with the thing. Yeah, and just think about if I'm pretty sure it's some stuff he's thinking, mechanic was thinking about he could have added that could have really been goddamn had a toss up on some of that shit. So all I'm saying is, depending on which side you're on, if you're anti-R. Kelly, like I said, get your I tell you, don't get no expired crack. Get crack that was just made this morning. Get some of that if that's what you do. Get some what they call the weed, the purple kush. Get the purple kush. I think they say the OG, whatever the people be saying, they call it the OG and the premium. Get that too. And if you're drinking something, don't go get the Mad Dog 2020. You're gonna need something that's gonna make you not have a headache in the morning. Go ahead on and get you some Southern Comfort. And have your bottle aspirins on the side, because I don't know how this shit gonna work out for you. I can't tell you. Your mama can't gauge this one for you. I'm just telling you. I don't went as far as I can go with you. I'm going into my Martin Luther King spiel. Baby, you're gonna have to go on your own. You're gonna have to fly and take off like a bird. Because I don't know what to tell you at this point. They done done the boom doom, boom boom on your ass. I don't know. Maybe we can start reading some of those Martin Luther King speeches. Maybe we can get you some inspiration in the house. I don't know what to tell you. But I think the pro-chaos people is over there reading Malcolm X. I think they're coming on back for one for your ass. I don't know what to tell you. Thine eyes have seen it coming. I'll have the rest of it go. I ain't Martin Luther King, but I'm saying the part I think I got. I don't know what to tell you, baby. You're gonna have to go to another channel if you want to know something else. Cause I am oh, shit. Wait a minute. Think about it. Jane Doe number 5 is all up and down that indictment. So hey, if they calling the question one charge or one little act, maybe it be 2. Maybe because remember, some of those acts are only separated by the dates from which they were committed. Don't ask me. Ask somebody else. Shit. At this point, you're gonna have to call someone higher. You're gonna have to call the federal government. Call Elizabeth Geddes and Kasulas and Melendez Cruz and all them people there and ask them what they think. Because I don't know. Call Mr. Kenneth, call Mr. Scholar, call Nikki, call Fairnell. Call all them, because don't ask me shit. Don't wake me up, because I don't know. This ain't my day. I do this, okay? So you just let me know what you want me to say, because I do not know. What else 312? I'm over cutting. I told you don't rest. Told you don't rest, baby. Don't even when you get tired, you keep on marching on. Keep on marching, because you never know when they're gonna do something to your shit. Trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. So let me finish reading this little paperwork that came through. Hell, should I even continue to read it? Hell, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is what they want to talk about. More on Jane Doe number 5. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, baby. Lord have mercy. It says the defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane that Jane denies telling the government that Kelly masturbated while she was singing when she met him at Dolphin Hotel, and cites the transcript at page 1151 for the purported inconsistent statement. According to the transcript citation provided by the defendant, Jane was only asked if she recalled making that particular statement to the government, and she answered in the negative, because Jane did not deny that the defendant masturbated in the room, and instead only that she did not recall telling the government that he masturbated in the room. There is nothing inconsistent. Okay. All right. The defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane that Jane denies telling. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me tell y'all this right now. I'm telling you something else. Doctor, somebody, we gotta have to know what that lady ruled on this. Can we get somebody in there to figure out what you say about this here? Can the judge get to this tonight? Can she get to this? Okay, because this gonna make a difference. Because this now we're talking about context and wordplay and what she actually meant and what was said and what she didn't say. That's gonna make a difference too. I'm gonna keep reading though. Says the defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane that Jane denies telling government that training singing was hard for her, and cites the transcript at page 1152 for the alleged inconsistency. Because Jane did not deny that training singing was hard, and instead only stated that she did not recall telling the government that training and singing was hard, there is nothing inconsistent. The defendant seeks to admit a statement by Jane that Jane denies telling government that Kelly told her she was not pulling her weight in music career. Why is this not right? Type right. And cites the transcript at page 1153 for the inconsistency, because Jane did not deny that Kelly told her that she was not pulling her weight in her music career, and instead only stated that she did not recall telling the government that Kelly told her. I mean, it says that, so I mean that's actually right, but that Kelly told her that she was not pulling her weight in her music career, there is no inconsistency. The defendant seeks to admit a statement by Alicette Mayweather that Mayweather denies stating that she escorted Kelly's girlfriends, and cites the transcript at pages 3479 to 380, 3479 to 3480 for the inconsistency. The transcript makes clear that Alicette Mayweather admitted to escorting the defendant's girlfriends, and therefore there is no need to introduce a prior inconsistent statement. All right, part 2 of this. Prior consistent statement. The government also seeks to admit certain prior consistent statements of Anna and Faith. The statements the government seeks to admit are admissible in the okay, wait a minute. The government also seeks to admit certain prior consistent statements of Anna and Faith. The statements the government seeks to admit are admissible in the government's rebuttal case as prior consistent statements under Federal Rule of Evidence 801D1. Specifically, the government seeks to admit prior consistent statements in rebuttal to the defendant's admission of the following statement by faith to offer with the NYPD on January 14, 2019. Okay, so that's why I need everybody to be in that courtroom the whole time. Don't come out and smoke and eat and talk and laugh and dance to the music and write all on the sidewalks and all that. Just stay on in there. Do we need to see you some money? Stay on in there. I need you in there. We need to, because they be going over this stuff. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Because this came out in the rebuttal. Seeks to admit prior consistent statements in rebuttal. Right, because see, this is stuff they rebutted against the defense's closing. So we need all this. Thanks to the defense. Shit, it's gonna be January before we get them transcripts. I got time for that. Shit. Okay, it says the defendant's admission of the following statement by faith to an offer with the NYPD on January 14, 2019. Faith stated that she was tested for sexually transmitted diseases in December of 2017 and tested positive for herpes. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I remember we was up on the last live talking about these dates. Now, hold on. Run it back. Let me see. I'm not on the screen, y'all. The following statements by faith to an officer. Faith stated that this is consistent. Okay, these are consistent. All right, so they said Faith stated that she was tested for a sexually transmitted disease in December of 2017 and tested positive for herpes. The government seeks to admit the following prior consistent statement by Faith. At some point after she traveled to New York in February 2018, Faith got the flu and cold sores. Faith later learned that what she had was herpes type 1. Statement made to Homeland Security, HSI agent on January 30th, 2019. Wait a minute. The government, give me a minute, y'all. I'm not on the screen. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me know if you see R. Kelly. Okay, wait a minute. Disease in December 2017. Okay, that's what. And she got the flu and learned that what she had was herpes type 1. So are they saying that she tested positive for herpes in 2017, but the cold sores and stuff in her mouth was herpes type 1? Okay, let's see. The statement is consistent with her testimony that she tested positive for herpes after she traveled to New York in February 2018 and rebuts the statement to be introduced by the defendant that she tested positive for herpes in 2017. Oh, okay, I see what they're saying. Okay. So they're saying it's 2018 in February that she was tested for herpes type 1. Okay. It says, okay. So let me read that little part again. The statement is consistent with her testimony that she tested positive for herpes after she traveled to New York in February 2018 and rebuts the statement to be introduced by the defendant that she tested positive for herpes in 2017. So also, I really think that the jury is probably gonna convict on all the herpes. So I don't know if y'all got the indictments. Y'all want to go up and down to see where where whether you got the what you think we already know. So when it comes to the girl the girl that couldn't escape with the phone in the studio, they got a problem with that, and then you got a problem with a letter about Jane Doe #5, but I would put a question mark by all Jane Doe #5. But I'm kind of solid on the herpes. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty solid on the herpes. It says around November, December 2017, while dating Kelly, Faith had an STD test that came back negative. Statement made to the HSI agent on January 3rd, 2019. The statement is consistent with her testimony that the statement in the NYPD report is incorrect. Oh, the statement in the NYPD report is incorrect and rebuts the statements to be introduced by the defendant that she tested positive for herpes in 2017. I wonder did they do this on the floor. Faith met Kelly in Dallas, Texas, sometime during the month of December 2017. During this meeting, they engaged in consensual oral and vaginal sex. After this encounter and after Faith returned home, she started to have open blisters and cuts in the inside of her mouth. Oh. She went to see a medical professional and was diagnosed with herpes. Boy, that's sad. Statement made on April 9th, 2018 to Dallas Police Department. This statement is consistent with Faith's testimony that she was diagnosed with herpes after December 2017 and rebuts the statement to be introduced by the defendant that she tested positive for herpes in December 2017. Hold on, wait a minute. This to be introduced. Okay. Faith stated that she had been checked out by a medical professional prior to this and was clean. Statement made on April 9, 2018 to Dallas Police Department. This statement is consistent with Faith's testimony and rebuts the statement to be introduced by the defendant that she tested positive for herpes in December 2017. The government also seeks to admit prior consistent statements to rebut to the defendant's admission of the statement by Anna that the defendant asked her to send a text to him. In its rebuttal case, the government seeks to admit a statement by Anna that after the incident where Kelly grabbed Anna and broke her necklace, which cut her neck, Kelly then made her go back to the hotel and write a letter stating that she attacked Kelly. That statement is consistent with her testimony and rebuts the implication in the statement the defendant seeks to admit, indicating that the defendant asked her to send a text message and not a letter. So in this one, the defendant is trying to submit this particular piece. Whoa. And I'll just read a footnote. It says the prior consistent statements set forth above from January 3rd, 2019 are contained in 3500 material FR1 at page 15. The prior consistent statements set forth above from April 9th, 2018 are contained in 3500 FR8 at pages 3 and 4. All right, I'm coming back on the screen. Oh, okay. What y'all think now? I'm on the screen. Let me see. Where we at? So what I got? 101? I'm at 101. What I'm thinking is rock. This is okay. So those statements, and I think, well, I'm pretty sure it's the defendant has those statements are already in there. I think what she's saying is that she told the either the NYPD got it wrong or she told them wrong. Like, what the fuck is going on? There's a big difference than getting tested for herpes in December 2017 and then getting tested for herpes in February 2018. It's just a big difference. And both of those months, and this is just something, but both of those months are holiday months, right? December and February, which most people will say that you are going to remember some shit that's happened in those months, especially if it's herpes. Mm. I don't know. Y'all work with me, work with me, work with me. I need your dirty in the courthouse all the time, please. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. We got proposed jury instruction form. Hold on, got something else. Got something else, y'all. Yeah. Oh, god damn. Oh, we ain't going through all that shit. Hold on, hold on. Ooh, let me put this on here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lord, please don't let them, please don't let everybody in the chat die tonight. That's not my intention. But we got to keep it fat and 100. Uh-oh. This is getting good now, baby. Yes, yes, yes. Let me see if this is. Hold on. All right. This is from the defense. This is the first read, you know how we do. Try to figure it out. All right, let me make it big and let's go through. See what we got. All right. This is from the defense. Dear Judge Donnelly, the defense respectfully submits this letter to request that the court add additional language to the jury instructions regarding direct and circumstantial evidence. All right. Remember, you know what direct means. Directly connects you to a crime. Circumstantial is a suggestion that a crime happened. And most cases are made up mostly of circumstantial evidence. All right. Specifically, the defense requests that the court add language regarding inferences that speculation is not allowed. Wait a minute. Oh shit. Wait a minute. All this shit was all tucked up under seal somewhere. Okay. The defense submits. See, this is why when the people in that courtroom, we need all those updates because they be talking about this stuff. We just not getting this. This dated September 21st. Okay. Specifically, the defense requests that the court add language regarding inferences and that speculation is not allowed. The defense submits that the additional language is necessary based upon certain arguments the government made regarding Aaliyah and mother, based upon certain arguments the government made. Wait a minute. Hold on. See, that's why I need to put on these glasses. The defense submits that the additional language is necessary based upon certain arguments the government made regarding Aaliyah and mother, witness use of her grandfather's cell phone. Her grandfather's cell phone. The defense objected to the government witness use of her grandfather's cell phone. The defense objected to the government stating that Mr. Kelly sought to marry Aaliyah because he wanted to cover up the fact that she was pregnant and then wanted to have control over her to force her to have an abortion. Wait a minute, I can't see shit. Where was I? Abortion. No one at this trial testified in a manner to support that conclusion. There were other instances, including a witness' use of her grandfather's cell phone, for which the inference the government suggested was extreme. For those reasons, the defense respectfully requests that the court submit additional language concerning direct and circumstantial evidence and the inferences that can properly be drawn from each type of evidence. The defense respectfully submits a portion of the jury charge given by the Honorable Paul A. Engelmeyer in United States versus Mack. Okay. Hold on, let me see where we go down there. All right, let me see. All right, so this was in a prior case jury charge, right? So okay. All right, it says, and I'll just pick up where they have it. Statement: it is your recollection that controls. For the same reason, you are not to consider a lawyer's questions as evidence. It is not, I'm sorry, it is the witness's answers that are evidence, not the lawyer's questions. Finally, any statements that I may have made do not constitute evidence. It is for you alone to decide the weight, if any, to be given to the testimony you have heard and the exhibits you have seen. Generally, as I mentioned at the start of the case, there are two types of evidence that you may consider in reaching your verdict. One type of evidence is direct evidence. Direct evidence is testimony by a witness about something that he or she knows by virtue of his by virtue of his or her own senses, something he or she has seen, felt, touched, or heard. For example, if a witness testified that when he left his house this morning, it was raining, that would be direct evidence to the weather. Circumstantial evidence is evidence from which you may infer the existence of certain facts. To use the same example that I gave you 2 weeks ago at the start of the trial, assume that when you come into the courthouse this morning, the sun was shining and it was a nice day. Let's assume that the courtroom blinds were drawn and you couldn't look outside. As you were sitting there, someone walked in with an umbrella which was dripping wet. Then a few minutes later, another person entered with a wet raincoat. Now, you cannot look outside the courtroom and you cannot see whether or not it is raining, so you have no direct evidence of that fact. But on the combination of the facts that I have asked you to assume, it would be reasonable and logical for you to conclude that it had been raining. That is all there is to circumstantial evidence. You infer on the basis of reason and experience and common sense from one established fact the existence or non existence of some other fact. As you can see, the matter of drawing inferences from facts and evidence is not a matter of guesswork or speculation. An inference is a logical, factual conclusion which you might reasonably draw from other facts that have been proven. Many material facts, such as what a person was thinking or intending, can rarely be proved by direct evidence. Circumstantial evidence is as valuable as direct evidence. Okay, y'all hear that? The law makes no distinction between direct and circumstantial evidence, but simply requires that before. Now, what that mean? Distinction? They mean like weight, the weight of. because of course there's a clear distinction. Okay. But simply requires that before convicting a defendant, the jury must be satisfied of a defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's not guilt beyond all reasonable doubt, it's just guilt beyond reasonable doubt. So I like to put it at least 51% guilty, but it don't have to be 100% guilty. All right. Where were we? The jury must be satisfied of all defendants' guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, based on all the evidence in the case, circumstantial and direct. There are times when different inferences may be drawn from the evidence. The government asks you to draw one set of inferences. A defendant may ask you to draw another. It for okay, so it cuts up. So, Lord, let me go look and see if there's anything else before I get out of this. 'Cause I know everybody probably passed out. Let me see. I wasn't trying to hold y'all this long. Let me see. Okay. Let me refresh it real quick. Child. Dance now with your big ass. Out of the mouth of John Witherspoon. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make sure I get out of here before. Alright, I'm coming back on the screen. I'm coming back around. Taking that down. Okay, people. Yeah, Aaliyah's grandfather, like we don't know none of that. Like what? What grandfather's phone? That's why I tell y'all, everything is important. The live updates, the media reports, the transcripts, all of that is important. I promise you that. And I'm qualified to tell you that. All of that is important. So, no, Little Red, they were talking about Aaliyah's grandfather's phone. Child, we don't know about no Aaliyah's grandfather or his phone. We don't know about that. When that happened. Am I missing something? Let me go back and that's the other paperwork. See, in this paper, see this lady, the judge is answering this shit in the courtroom. She, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the document that the both sides have put in. They put that in on the 21st and the 22nd, right? We're just not getting it today. She made her ruling on a lot of stuff in the courtroom, but we might not get that confirmation sometime in Pace. I don't know when, next week, I guess. So we need that shit. Don't play. So let me see. Let me look. I'm just making sure that was the Leah's granddaddy phone. Making this up. I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see. Leah granddaddy. Hold on, I'm gonna put it up there. Granddaddy phone. No nothing about no granddaddy. And that he had a phone. Where we at? Wait a minute. Oh, well, maybe it was somebody else. So hold on now. I read it choppy. Okay, well, let me read it again. You know, I like to get it right. Let me read it. Okay, the defense submits that the additional language is necessary based upon certain arguments the government made regarding Aaliyah and another witness use of her use of her grandfather. So, all right, y'all was right. I was trying to say, because we don't know nothing about her granddad and her phone. No cell phone. Hell, somebody else's phone. Okay. I got to get it right. Okay, you was right. Y'all was right. That's how we do. Teamwork. Hey, Libby J, what it do, baby? So what y'all think? I'm going to let y'all get on out of here. I ain't going to hog up time. But, right. Let me take this down. And that's what I was kept trying to explain to Killer, right? And you make a good point. Black Girl Beauty, hold on. Where you at? You got a good comment I want to put up. Hold on, where you at? Where that comment at? Okay, right there. You said Azrael is not the largest part of this case. The evidence she made available still supports what they allege about other minors. Her questionable testimony about her expense is small. Well, wait a minute. Let's look at the thing, right? Because she has. Hold on. Let me get it right. I can take you off. I'm gonna get that indictment. Hold on. Let's see what relates to Azrael. What I was trying to explain to Killer about 5,000 times is that your evidence may say a whole bunch of shit, right? The presentation can reduce that evidence to the jury's mind. They package it up and give it to the jury. And I'm not making it up. All right, let's see. Let me put it on the screen real quick. I'm technical, y'all. Sorry. And for all, y'all can get it on the replay. All right. Let's see how much pertains to 5. You might just be right, but let's check it out. Okay, Act 1. Okay. 2, 3. See what pertains to 5. Okay. Act 8 pertains to 5. Act 9 pertains to 5. Act 10 pertains to 5. Act 11 pertains to 5. Okay, so we got 11, we got 10, we got 9, and we have 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 4. How many counts? That's the X. All right, they did it smart. Never mind. They did it smart. They got it smart. They put it in smartly. Okay. They got them on the X instead of the counts. Okay, girls, y'all thought of everything. Oh, wait a minute. That's 4 X. Hold on. Count 2. Oh, shit. Where my pen? Hold on. X have 4. Counts. Count 2 pertain to 5. Count 3 pertain to 5. Count 4 pertain to 5. Count 5 pertain to 5. That's 4 counts. Nine counts. 4 pertain to 5. Y'all ready to go? Hey, what up, Miss April? What it do? What it do? 4 out of the 9. Remember what I said? This is going to jump start. And Greenberg said it himself. Going to kind of tell what the other courts are going to do. Counter sort of. Don't mean it's something going to be dropped. No, I ain't saying that. But they could very well accept a plea. Right? If they run out, it should run consecutive. It's consecutive. Lord. I can't even get it right because now y'all know when I get in real time and get all thrown off, you know, it can run consecutive. Oh, shit. Consecutive. Y'all know back to back. Shit, I'm ready to go back to back, or the judge has, you know, discretion to run it together. Consecutively. That's what I was trying to get the fuck out. So, or can run concurrently. And multiple charges under the same, but they was talking about, like, I think Greenberg saying, like, could be, I don't want to get into all of that, but that's why I wish we could have got through what we thought that they had already proved and what they had not proved at that moment. But we kind of got through it a little bit, but in an advanced type of way. She's 4 out of 9 counts. And she's 4 out of 14 acts under count 1. No. Thank you, child. I was trying to run it back. Run it back. Run that back. Woo! Child, y'all wears me out. I'll be going. I promise you, I plan to do no more than an hour. Y'all ass be taking, but yeah, but you know what? Shout out to y'all for hanging on in there, whatever, because you know we get it from what? The mud. Poo. Let me see. Purple shiesty, whatever shit. Get it back from the blood or whatever shit. And you know that part in that song, Pooh shiesty, something. I don't know. I'm gonna get the words to that, and I'm gonna come on and do it. But yes, let me go on, honey, because I'm getting delirious. That is crazy. The hell? I knew. I thought she was all through that goddamn indictment. Ooh, Jane Doe, number 5. Girl. Well, anyway, y'all. I don't not revise them to make them any less severe. If anything, they may amp it. But if they don't have, now we do know the tapes over there. It does say they got the tapes over there. They got the tapes. So that's gonna be totally different. But I guarantee you, I bet they probably thinking they wish they could have done Chicago should have went first. I bet you they probably thinking that now. Honey. Yeah. No, I don't think so. The truth, no. Girl, you know that should have been all over the damn news. Nah, that'd have been all over the news. Sure. Let me let y'all get out of here, baby, because I know y'all. So I know by at least by 75%, by 90% of the chat, y'all know y'all finna go find something hard and oh maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but maybe on the rocks and no, that is without chaser, okay, because I don't drink. So whatever it is, I know y'all finna go find something harder than what y'all got right now. Oh, shit. Oh gosh, so let me get on up out of here. I've been on here 3 hours with this nonsense, y'all. Hey, thanks again to my disappearing goddamn host Debo and goddamn DJ Amazing. Always to the host, the hostess, and the guests in the chat, and everybody else. Till the next time. Peace. And I need them goddamn note takers in that courtroom. Doctor, please get up in that courtroom, honey. I got to see a little change, honey. See a little change. All right, y'all. Peace.